Present.
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 Present. We have 6 members present. Are there any changes or additions to the agenda?
Yeah, Madam Chair.
Yes, Mr. Mays.
I might want to change the agenda to keep folks from talking ignorant to me, but it wouldn't pass. So, other than that, I don't have a question except for some discussion on this budget process. That's what I want to deal with. So let's do a special order communication. I only need about 5 or 6 minutes to see what's going on in the budget process. So I'm gonna request that change of discussion.
I'll order that without objection.
I object.
Okay. We will bring that to a vote. 5-minute, for budget process, Mr. Mays. And where do you want that, please? That usually goes at the end of our agenda.
Yeah, it could be at the beginning or the end. Why would a council person object to budget discussion in a finance committee meeting? That's the most foolish objection I've ever
Okay,
heard. So it could be at the beginning or the end.
I'm going to put it at the end of the agenda.
That'll be fine.
Okay, any other requests for additions or changes? Okay, this calls for the vote for the change to the agenda, 5-minute discussion on the budget process to go to the end of the agenda.
Madam Chair,
Yes, Mr.
are
Mays.
you saying under these newly established rules, you got 5 minutes to discuss this agenda change?
You asked for 5 minutes, Mr. Mays, for the agenda, for the
And we have an
change.
objection from Mr. Parker, right?
That's right.
So now we couldn't vote on it, right?
Correct.
And so I'm asking, is there any discussion on these?
I'm checking my rules right now, thank you. I
Yeah,
forgot to get them out.
It's ridiculous. In every motion, it should be a discussion. I've never seen such a procedure. You gotta check to see if there's a discussion. These rules been in effect, what, about 30, 60 days? Running this city, trying to run the city into the ground, Detroit. I've never seen nothing like it. Everywhere in the country, you got discussion on motion, except for here, under these newly developed rules.
Point of order.
What's your point?
Did Mr. Mays have the floor?
No, he does not. Thank you.
Point of order.
What's your point?
Who's got the floor?
No one.
Okay, then may I have the floor?
No. Please wait until I get the
I'm a
answer.
sitting councilman and you're.
I'm not giving anyone the floor at this moment. Madam
You
Clerk,
know, you see the.
what is the limit of discussion on agenda changes?
You don't
Because I
know.
can't find it.
Discussion on motion. There's no motion. Nobody made a motion.
Point of order.
It was just,
That's correct.
Thank you.
so,
Point of order.
speak to that.
What is your point, Mr. Mays?
Y'all been here over a year. And so my point is, any action of this council is by resolution, ordinance, or motion. When it's a procedural parliamentary procedure rule, know it from this point on. A motion should be requested and made. I asked her for the floor, you said no. I'm gonna ask again for the floor and see if you discriminate and not give me the floor to put the motion on.
Mr. Mays, you may now have the floor to put the motion on since we have a clarification.
Common sense. I'm gonna move that we have a discussion in this finance committee agenda about the upcoming deadline for the budget for the great city of Flint. This is a finance committee meeting. This is where it should be discussed, and I so move.
Is there support? You don't need to. Just, they're picking us up.
I support.
Okay, it's been moved and properly seconded to have a 5-minute discussion on the budget process, and that was at the end of the agenda. Is there any discussion?
Madam Chair.
Mr. Mays.
Madam Chair, you tried to order this discussion without objection. Mr. Pfeiffer objected to a 5-minute discussion on setting the budget for the city of Flint, millions of dollars. Now here this guy is elected. We could have been gone on with the business. He objects to discussion of a budget discussion in a finance committee meeting. I've never seen nothing like it. I don't expect him, maybe not even you, not Mr. Murphy or Ms. Liddell Lewis to vote to have a discussion on the budget in a finance committee meeting. You know why I don't predict that you might or might not? Because the attorney told y'all can deliberate and discuss outside of an open meeting. The attorney is dead wrong. This is a state law that discussion should be held on the record in a public meeting. One of the most important pieces of business that we do yearly is set the budget for the city of Flint. The general fund budget, grant budgets, block grant budgets, and this man sitting on the far end gonna object to a 5-minute discussion in a finance committee meeting in the month of April when we must have a budget done by June. I've never seen nothing like it. And then you're gonna have folks sitting like you, Mr. Murphy, and Ms. Liddell Lewis object to it and probably sometimes vote against it because I made the motion. They basing their city of Flint business on who makes the motion. And it's becoming obvious to not just the residents in the city of Flint, but all across the country. My phone is ringing repeatedly. You can be mad, you can be sad, you can be glad, but whatever this TikTok is, whatever this social media is, whatever we doing advertising these meetings, people watching, they know you by name. So my job is to make a record. My job is to try to strong arm you into voting correctly for the best interest of the residents of the city of Flint. Whether I'm successful or not matters less to me. I done seen council members get voted out for less. And I don't have to wait 4 or 5 years to do it. That's political mechanisms to move this city forward. And I know it. And I'm not going to sit here for 4 or 5 years with this crowd objecting to discussions for 5 minutes about a budget. It ain't going to be in a room of a handful of folks. And it's going to get crowded in here in a minute. Because I'm going to sound the alarm. And then we ain't going to just be in here. It's going to be some street heat. Yeah, you can say if you want. Say it again. Because you're showing up out of order, Mr. Murphy. Remember, Mr. Dillon, who's got the floor? I've got it, not you. So you can do and say what you want.
Point of order,
And I'm
Mr.
going to
Mays.
tell it.
The council rules say that all telephones shall be silenced during council meetings.
Beg your pardon.
Please silence your phone for our council rules.
Can you silence Mr. Murphy from saying, sitting 2 inches from me? You know, they remodeling the council chambers. I don't like sitting this close to folk anyway. So silence that. You won't worry about silencing my phone. Silence that that's sitting right next to you and you ain't said nothing. Silence that. Because that's kind of explosion. You know, I learned a new word, gaslight. And Miss Liddell Lewis and Herkin Road, what he doing? Sitting right next to you and you worried about my phone. Worry about that. Now, I'm gonna be voting yes on the motion to have a 5-minute discussion about the all-important budget and see what y'all talking about outside of the meeting among each other. Illegal. Thank you so much.
Is there any other discussion?
Madam Chair,
Yes.
if that 5-minute discussion is going to be like what I just heard, I'm voting no. Thank you.
Is there any other
Point of
discussion?
information.
What's your point?
Ms. Worthy, are you voting no because I made the motion, or you voting no? because
Mr.
you
Mays,
just
that's an
didn't-
improper point of information.
No, it's not.
Yes,
Madam
it is.
Chair.
Yes, Mr.
Yeah, I objected because the 5 minutes is just going to be the same stale talking points that he's talking about now. He had 5 minutes to discuss it now, and he's not. Instead, he's berating colleagues, making no progress on talking about the budget. He just wants to gain the floor to berate the colleagues and talk about nothing.
What's your point, Mr. Mays?
You using your 3 minutes or 5 minutes to talk about me now, ain't that same thing hypocritical?
I didn't call for the motion to have the discussion. So I could talk about whatever I want.
Point of information.
What's your point?
Mr. Piper, you objected to the motion to discuss it, didn't you?
Yeah, because you are only going to berate colleagues and have no discussion about the budget. That is your MO for the entire year.
Point, what's your point,
Let me
Mr.
just a quick inquiry and leave it alone. You can read my mind.
That is an improper
You
point.
say what I'm gonna talk about.
That
Point of
is
order.
improper
Point
point
of
of
order.
information. What is your point?
Anybody who say and can predict what my brain and mind gonna talk about, I believe they are a genius.
That
and I
is
got
an
the right to ask
improper
them
point of
that.
information.
No, it's not.
Or point of order, excuse me. Mr. Pfeiffer, you still have the floor.
I'm done.
Is there any other discussion on this motion?
Yes,
Yes, Mr.
thank you. I'll be, voting no against this because we already got our budget hearings that we already, doing already. They've been set. It's up to, last time we had the budget hearing, there's 3 of us here. We don't need a quorum. And if our colleagues want to, review the, meeting, they can go back and look at the first budget hearing. We still have more budget hearings to, come. Even when this motion for the budget, the discussion to rather have the discussion about the budget, my colleague in the first ward were talking about street heat. I don't know how street heat deals with the budget and talking about the budget, but what I am afraid that's is probably, I'm not sure, might happen because you got some people that support street heat or whatever the street heat is. We here to talk about the budget and the finance, and I hope that my colleague in the first ward don't think that we are here to discuss street heat. We here to talk about finances and to even bring up street heat and all of that stuff at TikTok. We was not elected for TikTok. We was elected to come here and do the business of the city of Flint. So regardless of whatever is going on with TikTok, we talking about the finance. So my colleague is not even germane to the subject matter of the motion. I'm done.
Is there any other discussion? Any other discussion? Okay, all in favor of the change to have a 5-minute discussion of the budget?
Point of order.
What is your,
I'll ask for a roll call. vote.
okay. Madam Clerk, roll call vote, please.
Mr. Mays?
Yes.
Ms. Lewis?
No.
Mr. Murphy?
Absolutely not.
Point of order. Point of order.
You cannot interrupt the vote, Mr. Mayor.
Point of order.
That is not
Point
acceptable.
of order.
What is your point?
You can vote yay, nay, or abstain. You can't give no editorial with an absolute, it's illegal.
You cannot just,
No.
thank you.
Ms. Priestley?
No.
Ms. Winter Carter?
Yes.
Ms. Brennan? Astor?
Thank you.
Ms. Miller is not in. Mr. Pfeiffer?
No.
Ms. Worthing?
No.
The vote is 2 yes, 5 no.
The vote is 2 yes, 5 no. That agenda change fails. Now we have public speaking. Members of the public shall have no more than 2 minutes to address the city council on any subject. Only one speaking opportunity per speaker. We have a lectern set up over there. Please state your name and address for the record, please.
My name is R.L. Mitchell. I live at 759 East Linden Avenue. And about this new language street heat, 4 days ago it was 82 degrees in Flint. It was on a Saturday. And I was sitting in my living room and the radio was on. I keep it on 24/7, Christian station. And Delores said, we having a street party at the St. John area. It started at 1 o'clock to 5. But I went on about my daily chores, whatever I be doing, went hanging out with the Cortez, the Mexican, the king of the, at this, just hanging out over there. I ain't gonna say a word. And then I said, man, take me over to the St. John. He said, no, I'm gonna take you to the farmer's market. And then I want you to come on and rake my leaves because I can't do it no more. I said, man, I didn't say that. I ain't never raking nobody. I didn't rake my own leaves. But anyway, so I got somebody else to take me to St. John area, but nobody was over there but me. And he said, what you gonna do now, sir? So he took me to the soup kitchen and threw me off and left me, and I just looked up the hill and saw a dude named Jerry, the fruit man. I walked up to him, and he was sitting up. I said, man, take me. He was in a dude, he asked this dude to take me over there, and he looked like the fire chief right here, big black guy. He got an attitude, and he said, what the hell do you think I am, a taxi? And you know, he looked like Richard Dix. I seen Richard Dix lose his cool when I was 45 years old. He broke 2 of my uncle's ribs. And you know, that black guy, he put on the gas. I thought he was gonna run. That's like, I just hopped on that couch he got there and sat down, and for 4 hours I didn't move. Because you should have seen the little fruit man. He just said, is this down the street, man? I just come, and the black man got, hey, I'm trying to say the chief of police is back. I seen him over, and he up there walking out there right now. He ain't giving the count. When I moved from St. John, I seen 2 policemen killed Riley Wreck and all. I mean,
Mr. Mitchell, thank you. Your time is up.
East Side Duncan. Welcome to the TikTok. Now take that.
Hi, my name is Dante Goodlove. I'm from the city of Flint. I'm from all over. Did y'all know I work for the city of Flint? I also work for the state of Michigan. I also was subpoenaed to be on jury duty. Yeah, it's a lot of things that y'all don't know about me, so yeah, I'm also from the streets. When y'all didn't want to walk the streets of Flint and do court, that was me. I started the court program. I was the main one who started Goyette to go in the house and fix the plumbing. It's a lot of things y'all don't know about me. And it's foul that this city will stand behind and support the acts of y'all keep asking us to support y'all, to do this for y'all, to do that for y'all for crumbs. But as soon as somebody asks y'all for something, oh, we beggars. Oh, we this, we that. That's funny. But when y'all need us, y'all got y'all hand out all the time for a vote? Y'all got y'all hand out all the time for some support? Who there for y'all? Flint is, right? Y'all really starting to disgust me, and I said I was gonna keep it real, and that's all I've been doing with y'all. It's starting to get to where I'm gonna turn my back, because like I said, God blessed the child with his own, and I ain't asked y'all for nothing.
Thank you. Anyone else who wishes to address council? Is there anyone else who'd like to address council? Seeing no movement, we have 2 minutes for council response. Let me double. Yep, 2 minutes. Is anyone like to address the public in response to their comments?
Madam Chair,
Mr. Mays?
since I heard nobody, they like to wait for me to speak, I think, so they can say to piggyback on whatever I say. In the old days, before this group of council people and others, people could come up and speak and you could address them. You could make referrals to each and every one of them, no matter how long it took. under this council and others, they want to make rules where people speak and you look at them like dummies. Sir, you're 100% right. When they want your vote, they kissing your butt, smiling. When they get in these seats, everything changed. You put in one of those one-page forms for opera money. You and 600 and some other people. I'm fighting like hell to get them to go through each one of them. Contact y'all. People want home repairs, Saginar's moving. Mo Pete and them want $2 million for the building downtown. Let the Mott Foundation come ask them for $2 million. They falling over each other. They won't even discuss that in other budget proceedings in a finance committee meeting. But they smart. They public servants. So I agree with you 100%. Don't chase them. Don't beg them. Let them keep voting no on discussion items that affect the residents. We're gonna show them something. The majority. They ain't gonna silence me. And they ain't gonna silence you and a bunch of mofos. Let's see what they say to your public comment.
Okay, is there anyone else who'd like to address the comments to the public? Anyone else? Okay, seeing none, I'd like to I'd like to motion to adopt the
I will
consent
move-
agenda.
I will move the consent agenda for resolution,
We don't have to say the resolution.
the consent, I would like to, for the record.
It's included in all the consent.
I would like to do the consent agenda for resolution 230110, 230111, 230112, 230113, 230114, 230115, is right? 230116, 230117, 230124 with any separation.
The consent agenda allows for
Consent.
that. Is there support? Support. Okay, are there any separations?
Yeah, Madam Chair,
Yes, Mr. Mays?
this is a new rule. And under the discussion, how many minutes do we get? This is for separations, there ain't no discussion on all them numbers. So I'm gonna do it this way because it's a finance committee meeting. I'm gonna separate, let me get my glass. I'm gonna separate 230110. I'm gonna show y'all something about these groups. That's the first separation. Watch this. Listen and weep. I'm separating 230110. I'm separating 2301111. I'm separating 2301112, 2301113, 2301114, 2301115, 2301116, 2301117, and 2301124.
Since Mr. Mays separated every resolution on the agenda, Mr. Mays, I'm going to you for a motion for 230110.
Okay. I'll make a motion that the scholarship and salary acceptance State of Michigan Public Safety Academy Assistance Program, Flint Police Department, be moved to council.
Is there support? Support. It's been moved and properly seconded to send resolution 230110 to council. Is there any discussion?
Yeah, Madam Chair,
Yes, Mr. Mays.
Through you to Chief Green. Chief Green, can you shed some light on this for the public listening, rather than just a number that folks want to vote on? I want folks to know the details of the business of the city. If they don't want to discuss that and do it in a public meeting, go home. Can you shed some light on what this is?
Stand right here. It's fine.
Yeah, yes,
So what
sorry.
it is a, off our general fund, it assists us with the, with funding and paying for, cadets to go through the police academy.
To go through the police academy?
Police academy also assists with their, the tuition and their, salaries.
$16,000 worth.
Yes.
About how
So it
many
was, so it comes up to about 4,000 per,
per
cadet.
academy per
Yes,
student?
yes,
And then they come out of the academy and they train to be a police.
that's correct.
Thank you so much. I'll support that. And I'm doing this on purpose. I'm gonna let the people's business be open, transparent. It's not gonna be a number that this council came up with some goofy rules just to say numbers and get in and out of here in 15 minutes. This ain't Burger King. This is the city business. It will be discussed openly, honestly, and in detail. And the folks watching will know what we're talking about more so than the number. I'll be voting yes to move this to council.
Is there any other discussion in the first round? Any other discussion in the first round? Any discussion in the second round? All in favor? I'm calling for the vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, nay. This resolution 230110 moves to council. Mr. Mays, you separated two, yes.
Maze, what's going on now?
Y'all know. You win, it's about council.
Okay. Okay, we're on to 3. Okay. Okay, Mr. Mays, you separated 230111. Do you have a motion?
Let's see what motion I want to make. This is 230111. A grant acceptance from the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development, Choice Neighborhood Projects for $1.4 million. $1.4 million, a grant. I move to council.
Is there support?
Madam Chair,
Yes.
I'll support that motion.
It's been moved and properly seconded to send it to council. Is there any discussion?
Madam Chair.
Mr. Mays?
Is anybody here, I know Suzanne Wilcox, but if I don't see her, Mr. Edwards, City Administrator, what is this grant acceptance before us for $1.4 million, Choice Neighborhoods? What is that all about and what should it do?
Through the chair to Mr. Mays, these are additional federal dollars. This is all part of the $30 million Choice Neighborhood Initiative that's taking place. So these were additional dollars put forth to continue to help that cause.
And that $1.4 million, is that part of the $30 million that the HUD Secretary came and helped the city get during the Mayor Weaver, Karen Weaver administration? Is that the $30 million you're referring to?
No, yeah, this is
You
additional.
say yes or no?
If I may, this is additional dollars.
This
with
is what?
Additional dollars with respect to the 30 million.
And the 30 million was the 30 million that the HUD secretary came to Flint, stood in the lobby and helped us get during the Mayor Weaver administration? That was my question. Do you know?
I would say, yes, I understand what you're asking. Yes, I understand.
Yes is the
Yes,
answer.
I understand.
Yeah, 'cause that was that Ben guy, that was that black guy who was the HUD secretary under Trump, correct?
That's correct.
That's correct. So now they bringing in an additional 1.4 million.
That's correct.
I'll vote for that. So I'll be voting to move that to council for final approval. I can support that. Let me ask this question. Do you know specifically what this 1.4 million will be used for in addition to that 30 million?
As it's indicated inside of your briefing, it's a gap filler dollars to help with increased costs from COVID, increased labor costs, increased interest costs on loans. Yeah, these dollars are to help with post-COVID.
So COVID caused
Yes.
certain prices and
Increased
things
costs,
to change.
yes.
Thank you so much.
Madam Chair?
Yes, Ms. Worthing.
While you're there.
Okay.
I just kind of wanted an update because as far as I know, they haven't done construction yet on the south end. I think they did it in Ms. Winfrey's work, correct? Are they going to start that soon? It's on Saginaw?
I believe that's part of the phase 3, and so,
Okay.
yeah, moving these additional dollars, all of that is helping towards moving to those next phases, because they're still in the phase 1, phase 2 activity.
Okay. So do you know when they'll start phase 3?
No, I don't. Suzanne, Ms. Wilcox, she'll be here for the Monday meeting. She
Okay.
couldn't attend.
I'll ask. Thank you.
Any other discussion?
Yes.
Yes.
Through you to, Clyde, the $2 million that we did in addition, wasn't that to help cover some of this cost with the increase of inflation and prices, where you guys were shortfall 2 million and we added 2 million additional dollars to that project? So would this make this 3.4 million in addition to help that $30 million project for that particular area?
Yeah, there are two, yes. To answer your question, the 2 million was a gap filler for the already financed situation that was going on. The phase 2, as far as I know, that 2 million was part of the phase 2 funding. There was a gap in the phase 2 funding. This 1.4 is the totality of the project.
Is there any other discussion? Any other discussion? Seeing none, I'll call for the vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay? The ayes have it. That resolution will be going to council. Mr. Mays, you separated 230112. Do you have a motion?
Yeah, Madam Chair, this is a separation, another grant acceptance from the United States Department of Housing and Urban Development, and it looks like it's for $3,082,000. And so I would so move that that resolution moves to council.
Is there support?
Madam Chair, I'll support that motion.
Okay, it's been moved and properly seconded to move resolution 230112 to council. Any discussion?
Yeah,
Mr.
Mr. Edwards,
Mays.
if I may. Mr. Edwards, can you describe this $3 million grant for the public discussion of $3 million? Can you describe that as well?
Yeah, this is one of HUD's other programs, the Home ARPA program, which centers around addressing homelessness, domestic violence situations where people are fleeing domestic violence situations, human trafficking. So this is a specialized allotment that HUD puts forth to deal with some form of homeless displacement. This was the totality of this particular ARPA funding of $3 million. There was some previous, I believe there was previous funding that this council awarded in the amount of $162,000. That was a small portion of what Flint was going to be awarded in the first place. So this is the remaining addition that the city was awarded for that particular purpose.
The 162,000, was it from HUD as well? Do
Yes.
you know what that was a pot of money from HUD as well?
Yeah, yes, from the same home ARPA funds.
And you know, it's debatable whether I'm the most intelligent person on this council. That might be debatable, but I don't expect that you'll hear any other questions or comments like you did in the last resolution, because those folks, other than Ms. Winfrey Carter, was willing to pass this stuff by number, no comments, no questions, and so I've broken it down. And so I'll be voting to move it to council, but I'll also use every maneuver I can with this bunch in order to tell the people here and the people in the public what type of business that we're doing as it relates to their finances. Thank you so much.
Is there any other discussion?
Yes.
Yes, Mr. Murphy.
And just to follow up what my colleague in the first ward was saying about this bunch of people, the consent agreement and our rules allow for any separation. When we first started this meeting, the consent agreement was to do a consent agreement with the total.
Mr. Murphy, I'm going to ask you to stay relevant to the motion.
But you didn't ask my colleague to say it when he was throwing us up under the bus, so you need to check him.
Point of order.
What's your point, Mr.
Is
Murphy?
he appealing your decision or he just fussing with you?
Go ahead, Mr. Murphy.
Thank you. I'm just saying, be fair. Don't allow nobody to throw no shots at us and we can't correct it. Who will be facilitating this grant? Was this going to be going to an organization, a nonprofit, or an agency to facilitate this? Or will this be in-house?
This is one of the many accepted grants that we get, just like the CDBG, the home, and the ESG. It has a set of partners or grantees, sub-grantees that will apply for these dollars. It is a unique group. This is where we've had some challenges and struggles because they belong to what's considered the continuum of care group. And so that is a very small, limited group of providers. So those are the ones that specialize in providing these particular types of services.
If we don't use this, do we lose it?
With all HUD funds, there is a calculation that is applied to the city to determine the value of all HUD funds in its possession. So since HUD funds have multiple year lives, they look at the totality of all your HUD funds and determine whether there's a ratio that you're exceeding. And from that, that is how you can lose dollars. But we're always monitoring that to make determinations that we stay or fall below, or recapture is what they call it. We stay below the recapture line. It will never be just against one particular fund. It'll be looking at all of the city's funds and how they disperse them over the years.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
Is there any other discussion?
Yes, Madam Chair.
Yes.
Mr. Edwards, I'm reading this. It sounds like this particular grant will help with the wraparound services for that project, because I remember when we received the 30 million, there were supposed to be some wraparound services included within that. Can you answer to that?
I'm not sure. When you say it's, when you're asking the question that it's included, are you talking about with respect to like the Clark Commons project.
Yes.
Okay, these funds, and as I said, Suzanne will probably be here on Monday, but my best understanding about these funds, they are restricted for this particular group of folks. They have to be people that are displaced, homeless in some form or fashion because of some traumatic event. I'm not aware that you can use these funds. I'm not aware that you can use them for other purposes.
So this is not a part of the Clark Commons project?
As far as I know, that would be a no.
Okay. Okay.
Any other discussion? Any other discussion? Not, all in favor of sending resolution 230012 to council, say aye.
Point of order.
Yes,
It's wrong, you didn't read it or not. It's 230112.
thank you. 230112 to council. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Mr. Mays, you separated 230113.
Yeah, 230113 is a change order. It's a change order dealing with the partnership agreement with the City of Flint and Genesee County Parks and Recreation. I'm gonna move that 230113, change order number 1, be moved to council.
Is there support?
Support.
It's been moved and properly seconded to move resolution 230113. Is there any discussion?
Madam Chair.
Mr. Mays.
Yeah, who's handling parks and recreation for the City of Flint if they here at this Finance Committee meeting other than Mr. Edwards? Mr. Edwards, we would be back to you again. Let's shed some light on this operation. You know, I see one of the areas that I'm sensitive to. I've picked up Flint Park Lake under these new ward boundaries. I'm curious because I remember one.
What does that mean?
Yeah, I'll wait till you finish talking to him. I'm trying to give folk undivided attention. I remember one year I called a press conference and the grass at the park on Martin Luther King and Pearson was so high, I ducked down and hid. It was up to my waist. As we move into the summer months, I have a great concern about the parks, particularly in the first ward, staying nice. Will we need additional money? And what was the original amount? This is for $175,000. As we go into the budget process, I'm asking you on the record, do I need to fight for additional money for parks, or we all straight moving into the summer? Do you know?
No, I don't know at this point the totality of the money that is available for that full purpose.
I want to find out what's the totality of the money, particularly in the first ward. I want to look at, make sure Hasselbrink Park is taken care of. I know of a person who was let go, the contract. I'm concerned about that. I don't believe that person should have been let go last year. So I'm going to look at minority contractors. I'm going to look at who's getting that work, keeping those parks maintained. When can you give me the total look as it relates to the finances to maintain the parks this summer? Could it be, if this is April, January, February, March, April, by the first or second week in May, could you have that information to me?
I'm sure that Ms. Wilcox will be prepared to give you that full information.
But she ain't here.
Monday.
She retires the 1st of May, right?
She'll be here Monday, though.
Okay, but this is a committee meeting. I'm just asking you for the record. If you give it to me Monday, that'll be before the second week in May. But I've got a budget to do before June. I'm sneaking in a little budget discussion because this group don't want to discuss it. They voted no. So I'm asking you on the record.
Mr. Mays, your time is up.
Whoa.
Thank you. Any other discussion on this motion?
Yes.
Yes, Mr. Murphy.
So when I'm looking at this, it's saying that, this is agreement between the, Genesee County Parks and Recreation Commission, which is different than, the contractors that, usually cut the parks. So are y'all moving in a different direction when it comes down to who are, cutting the parks? Because usually you guys will come with a resolution for whoever, once y'all bid the parks, out to the different contractors, and then these different contractors are cutting the parks. But this one that I'm looking at here, say the Genesee County Parks and Recreation Commission. So what's the difference between this versus the regular contractors that is, usually cutting the parks? And also in addition, we usually get a spreadsheet so that we can see which contractors is cutting our parks and our wards. We don't have
Point of
that.
information.
Yes, what's your point?
Are you aware that we subcontracted all of our parks to Genesee County Parks and Recreation?
That's not usually, how it happened. And last year, Genesee County Parks did not cut our parks, private contractors.
Point of information.
What's your point?
We got a Mott Foundation grant for $500,000 to partner with Genesee County.
Yeah.
Are you aware of that?
Yep, I am aware of that. So in addition to what I was saying, the contractors usually cut the parks. The information that my colleague is talking about is for, the people to come out and clean up the parks. So what that, partnership with the Genesee County Parks was, that the workers came out 2 or 3 days and they was dispersed in all the parks, and they came out and, picked up all the paper and, changed the trash cans, but they was not responsible for cutting the grass. That's, different. So do you know specifically, is the Genesee County Parks finna start cutting the parks, or the contractors not doing it anymore?
Madam Chair,
Good.
Councilman Murphy, that this is relevant to the park and partnership agreement. So this is agreement, City of Flint, Genesee County Parks, and the Recreation Commission. This resolution is specifically speaking to that relationship and the change in that relationship. I'm aware that we also have other separate vendors. As you've seen on many occasions, we've brought vendor contracts that needed to be approved to this council. So as far as I know at this point, those vendor contracts are still in operation.
No, that's what I just said. That's the
I
question.
don't know about it replacing beside this contract, beside this partnership agreement, but this partnership agreement was specific to serving a particular purpose. So I believe we still have other vendors that are providing the services as well. But Ms. Wilcox, again, she works with the daily operation of this. She would be more empowered to give you the particulars in those relationships and how they are maintained moving forward.
Thank you. That's your time. Is there any other discussion?
Madam Chair.
Yes, Mr. Pfeiffer.
Mr. Edwards, usually on these resolutions, it states the total contract amount.
Yes.
Can we get that on this one?
Yes.
Thank you. To your knowledge, is it just the 500,000 that Mott has granted us plus this? Is that your recollection as well?
I'm going to say that, yeah, I'm not totally sure.
Okay. Thank you, Madam Chair.
They're doing it this year.
Yeah. Okay. Is there any other discussion? Any other discussion? Okay, this is the vote for moving 230113 to council. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. The ayes have it. 230113 gets moved to council. Mr. Mays, you separated 230114.
Yeah, 230114 is a change order number 1, and it's dealing with fire apparatus. I'm gonna move 230114 to council.
Is there support?
Support.
It's been moved and properly seconded to move resolution 230114 to council. Is there any discussion?
Madam Chair,
Mr. Mays.
through you to the fire chief, Chief Widget.
Yes, sir.
Just a little while back, if my memory serves me right, we approved some stuff for the fire department. This is some additional, and this is a change order. It's a change order for $219,000. What's going on over there? Will we see more of this coming between now and the fiscal year? Do you know whether this money is coming out of the general fund, this change order?
This change order was suggested by the fleet administrator. Who
The
was in
police
charge-
administrator?
Fleet,
The fleet administrator?
yes,
Is that him?
correct.
Through you, Madam Chair, to the fleet administrator, your name?
Aaron Cottrell.
Aaron
Cottrell.
Cottrell. Mr. Cottrell, what are you suggesting here?
We're switching gears here.
You might want to
Instead of-
speak up, please.
Instead of purchasing a stock unit, we're switching gears and purchasing a custom unit.
Say that again?
We're switching gears and selecting a custom-built apparatus.
A custom-built apparatus. Now, you have to excuse me, because under these goofy rules of trying to take care of business, you see that clock running? This group invented that. In the history of the city of Flint, we ain't had no clock when we trying to take care of people's business, but this smart group got a clock. So you excuse me, Mr. Cantrell, if I try to maneuver around these goofy rules. Geniuses. Chief, is it any more equipment and stuff you gonna need in this fiscal year that you know of?
No, sir,
This is it.
this is it.
Now, normally, when they say this is it, I've been in this municipal government a while, it could be some more. I'm not gonna hold it against you if you say this is it on the record. Between now and the 1st of July, I'm gonna see. What about you, Mr. Cantrell? Is this it?
This is the only one.
I ain't gonna hold it against you, because I'm high on public safety. When it comes to police and fire and protecting folks, you know, I'm watching close what's gonna happen with them 2 children on Pulaski Street. I'm appalled. I'm appalled. I ain't going in no closed session. The former chief is suing. The mama is suing. Them kids might could have still been alive. Let me know what you need. Thank you so much.
Is there any other discussion? Any other discussion? Okay, this is calling for the vote for resolution 230114 to be sent to council. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. The ayes have it. 230114 is moved to council. Mr. Mays, you separated 230115.
230115. I don't know if this is A&S construction equipment, but it's some excavation equipment for $272,000. I'm gonna move this to council for discussion, and I so move.
Is there support?
Support.
It's been moved and properly seconded to move resolution 230115 to council. Is there any discussion?
Yeah, Madam
Mr.
Chair.
Mays.
Anybody in the room got knowledge of this excavation equipment? You do, sir. Now, you know I'm gonna have trouble with your name. Say it like Madam Chair may approach.
Yeah, absolutely.
I know you for years, but I wanna get the name right. I wanna get his name right.
Entries Mitchell.
Entries
Mitchell.
Mr. Mitchell, I'm gonna go with.
I'm the sewer system supervisor.
And what is this excavation?
So what this, we actually is 2 pieces of equipment. and it's 2 trailers. What it is we're getting a mini excavator. We have a big one that we knock the houses down with, but we're trying to get a mini to where sometimes we have like, I don't know if you guys are aware, but we have canals, we have streams, and if they're not dug well, they can fill up, so we rent them. And rather than keep renting, we are buying one.
So this is the mini excavator?
Yeah, it's the mini
And
excavator.
it's running about $272,000,
Yes.
and we'll own.
Yes, sir.
That's the purchase price?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And then the next thing that you guys will see on there, it's like a mini bobcat. And what it is right now, the way we remove manholes, if you guys look around a lot of the manholes, you may see some holes. Well, we'll take a jackhammer and jackhammer it out. Well, what we're getting now is called a manhole remover. It will go on top of the manhole, it will spin it, lift the manhole up, we'll seal it, drop the manhole back down, fill it with asphalt or cement, and be all done.
We have neither one of those pieces of equipment in our inventory now.
Not at all, sir.
That's gonna help with the corner of Home Street and Sally Court.
Home Street and Sally Court.
Yeah, you know the sewer I'm talking about?
I don't know it, but
It's
I can take
an
a look at
orange
it.
barrier there. I'm getting a
It's an
little
orange barrier
slick
now?
on my first ward study.
Okay. Well, I could take a look and see it, but if it's a manhole cover that's sinking in or something like that, or if it's a catch basin, yes.
Well, you know, the summer's approaching.
Yep,
I got people calling. I want stuff taken care of.
I agree.
If I'm gonna set up here and vote to spend money, I wanna see the money go to work.
Oh, trust me, you will see it go to work.
You think so?
Yes, sir.
Why ain't it went to work on Pearson Road? That stuff's still sitting there for this long.
Because, well, if you notice, the lake is not flooding anymore.
I know the lake ain't
Okay,
flooding,
so
but
now
them
now-
horses still sitting there.
Now, would you like me to answer that? Because we're trying to put a removable casting in there. What happens is,
What's taking so long? See that goofy rule clock?
well, you let me go.
No, I ain't gonna just let you go. They ain't letting me go.
Well, do you want me to answer it or no?
Me and you will work around it. I'm just putting stuff on the
Yeah,
record.
well, I was gonna tell you, we try to put a removable casting there because underneath there where that stuff is, gophers set up dams.
We've done what we had to do. We'll continue to talk.
That's no problem.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Is there any other discussion on this motion?
Yes.
Yes, Mr. Murphy.
Through you to Mr. Mitchell.
Beavers, not gophers.
I wonder if
I got a question for you.
Please.
Yes. They're on Selby Street, right in front of Eagle Ridge. Is it Eagle Ridge apartment?
Yes, sir.
They got a retaining pond, retention pond.
Yes, sir.
And in the wintertime, it's backed up with ice build, and then in the summer when we got a bad rain, all the water is coming, and it seems like something needs to happen there.
Now, one thing
Is
we
you
can try
familiar
to...
with that particular?
Yes, I am. I just was out there. I had to help with that not too long ago when we had the big storm.
Was that you?
That was me.
Okay.
That was me.
Yeah.
What happens is if we can, trying to monitor every catch basin is hard. If we can get some people, if we know it's about to be a rain, we can also work on our end too, to try to clear these catch basins. Because once, it's no problem in this river. It's no problem at all. Once you move the debris, it flows right down. But if it's all that waste that comes from off the expressway, all that stuff builds into, if it gets in front of it, it plugs it up.
So even when people walking down the sidewalk, and, say that again?
Please state your name to the motion. This is for the purchase of the excavator.
So the purchasing of this equipment is dealing with an issue that's in my ward that I'm gonna need help with.
Thank
So
you.
it is germane to the
Okay.
subject matter.
Go ahead.
Thank you. It's all, the water coming all through over the sidewalk.
Yes. Now, for a retention pond, that would tie into our main, like, let's just say the retention pond is over here and our catch basins are over here. If it overflows, if we could clear off our grates, it wouldn't be any issue. So if we can proactively, maybe we got to proactively start trying to work together on some way we can make sure these grates are clear. But we clear them off all the time, and then you go by, you leave, and it's leaves, it's trash, it's debris, it's Kroger bags.
So in the wintertime, this equipment that you guys are getting ready to buy, it won't be able to help that situation?
No, that's no, not at all.
I ain't pleased with how that pond is overflowing into the street like that.
I would have to take a look at it.
That-
I don't know
that's
how they built it
ridiculous.
before I got there.
Yeah.
We'll have to figure out how they tie into us.
Yeah.
That's something we can work on.
Yeah.
That's something we can figure out how they tie into us.
So, and I think it's more than just the, trash, that's an issue. All right, thank you.
No problem.
Thank you. Any other discussion on this motion? On this resolution? Any other discussion? Okay, this is the vote for moving 230115 to council. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Resolution 230115 has been moved to council. Mr. Mays, you separated 230116.
I am Mr. Mays, and I did separate 230116. This is a agreement, a contract. City of Flint, Genesee County, Habitat for Humanity, homeowner occupied housing rehabilitation, choice neighborhood areas. I would move that to council. I so move.
Support.
It's been moved and properly seconded to send resolution 230116 to council. Is there any discussion?
Madam Chair,
Mr. Mays?
Mr. Edwards, other than you, is anybody else from the administration here with knowledge? Then Mr. Edwards, Madam Chair, may you approach.
Yes, Mr. Edwards, please.
Mr. Edwards, do me a favor as we try to take care of this business. Keep eye on that clock. Don't get mad if I interrupt you, because these are some goofy rules. Don't even make sense. Maybe the majority of this council will catch on. I'm gonna keep talking about it, just as I am in this particular resolution. Habitat for Humanity. Great organization if they ain't got stipulations. My question will go to stipulations on this money. They just have me pay $4,000 in property tax, $3,500 in a water bill, a total of $7,500 to council. I ain't making but $22,000 a year worth. I gotta go fund me now. They better look at it. But the point is this: what will this help the residents do in these choice neighborhoods?
Madam Chair, Councilman Mays.
Mr. Edwards.
Say it loud.
I said, Madam Chair, Councilman Mays, this particular requirements and aspect, that would be for Ms. Wilcox. I understand the pathway of how the money is,
Okay.
but she would know the particulars of distribution.
So watch this maneuver. Ms. Wilcox ain't here, right?
She is not.
The clock didn't run out, right? Oh, it's moving, and my time is limited. But you done watch them in Congress and in the Senate, they maneuver, particularly if they want more time. I want more time. So I'm gonna make an amendment to the motion. I'd like to amend my motion to move this to special affairs for Ms. Wilcox to be here on Monday, and I so move.
Is there support?
Madam Chair,
Yes, Ms.
I'll support that motion.
It's been moved and properly seconded to move resolution 230116 to council. Discussion.
Madam
please.
Chair.
Mr. Mays.
Ms. Winfrey Carter,
Special affairs, I'm sorry, special
Ms.
affairs.
Winfrey Carter, thank you so much. That clock was ticking, Mr. Edwards. So Ms. Wilcox will be able to tell me specifically what this money can be used for. I'm seeing on the surface, it says, home owner occupied housing rehabilitation. Now, we had close to 700 people put in for home owner rehabilitation through the ARPA funds. 700 people. I was the president. Designed the form, got 6 votes for that form to be passed out, and then all hell broke loose months later. Folks started saying, it ain't a real form. It was a real piece of paper. And Mr. Mays did that campaign. I'm always a campaign for me, Mr.
What's your point?
Is he germane to the resolution?
Stop the clock.
No, there's no stopping the clock during the timing, so continue the clock, please. Thank you.
What's the ruling? What's the,
I said we are not stopping the clock.
I'm not what?
We are not stopping the clock.
Point of order. If somebody did something to stop my talking, I'm thinking you should stop the clock. Now, y'all can play all the games you want, and then I'm gonna pick up my pace, because I wasn't born a fool and I ain't a fool.
Did you rule on my point of order? Oh,
Somebody gonna
I
stop
thought you
something.
said for him to continue.
They gonna
I
stop
said he was
interrupting me.
germane.
That clock won. Stop the clock.
He was just, Ms. Worthing, he was just, continue. He was discussing the home ownership repairs as relates to this contract. That's how it tied in. Mr. Mays, continue, please.
Somebody gonna do something. Now, I'm telling you, I got way more sense than y'all wanna give me credit for. Way more. God give me that. And what God give me, you ain't gonna take away from me. The homeowner part of the home rehabilitation, Mr. Edwards, you'll stand here before us and echo what Miss Lottie Ferguson said, those people will be contacted individually.
I believe that's what she reported, and yes.
That's correct.
What
And
she reported, I supported it.
And do you know whether or not this program will help with some of maybe those same people? You don't know. We got to wait on what Miss
Lottie?
No, R.L.
With Ms. Wilcox. And
Miss
I will just say-
Wilcox. So I want to know that. So you think she'll be in Special Affairs Monday?
She will be there, and as long as those people fit in the criteria, then I'm sure that they won't have any problem receiving those services.
And I'm hoping not, because I'm going to fight like hell for those people to get those home repairs. And I'm going to fight like hell for 7.6 million to 15 million to be allocated. Now, with this crowd here, if I say no, they might say yeah. So we'll see what strategy or tact I have to come up with to get those funds allocated. We'll wait till Monday. Thank you for approaching. You want these last 3 seconds? Thank you. God bless you.
Thank you. Any other discussion on the amended motion?
Madam Chair?
Mr. Pfeiffer.
I'll yield it.
Okay, Ms. Winfrey Carter.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you, Ms. Councilman Pfeiffer. Mr. Edwards, and I was listening to Councilman Mays. This grant, or this, where am I? It looks like this is going to be the Choice Neighborhood program. So I would like for Ms. Wilcox, if you can give her this message, when she comes, can she bring us a map of those residents within the Choice Neighborhood area? Bring us a map so that we can see who would be eligible for some of the funding. Okay? And I'm also concerned about the stipulations as well. You know, I don't think there should be a lot of stipulations for the funds for those residents who live in that Choice Neighborhood area. Because I think it's ridiculous that we're building new townhouses on top of a lot of, you know, blighted properties and things like that. And I also want to find out too, there was also money earmarked for demolitions in that Choice Neighborhood area.
We approved it last week.
Okay, yeah, because that needs to happen too. We got a lot of junk and trash and all kind of stuff right there where they're building new townhouses. Who wants to live by that, you know? So, I would ask that Ms. Wilcox bring a map so that we can know exactly, what, residents or homeowners would be eligible to apply for some of the funding. Thank you.
Any other discussion? Oh, Mr. Pfeiffer.
Yep. Mr. Edwards, I guess I'm a little concerned, and it's a little troubling that Suzanne is retiring in a few days, and she's the only one that can answer any one of these questions. What are we doing to put something in place? Because Monday's her last city council meeting, so I hope we have a plan, because you won't be able to defer to anyone past Monday. So what's the plan with that?
She, through you, Madam Chair, to Mr. Pfeiffer. Yes, a plan is in place, has been in place from the time she announced. And we've been working with MML, working to find qualified people, and there are also some under consideration. With respect to answering the questions, there were others that also could not attend today, but they'll be available. She has components underneath her that address all of these issues that have been brought before you. She's always the one, though, as the director that comes and provides the answers, because she's the one that's responsible, directly responsible to the administration. But there are others, just as Intrice was here from the water department. There are others who specialize in dealing with these issues that will be present to be able to answer the questions.
So there won't be any gaps in getting all of these programs, keeping them in place, all of that stuff. The plan is, there's a plan.
There is a plan.
Okay.
There is a plan for replacement. There are people that handle, I guess the best way to say it, there are those who handle daily operations. Suzanne basically was she was providing oversight for the whole thing, but there are those who play the role of doing daily operations. Those people will still be in place. They'll still be available to provide answers. They'll still be able to do and address inquiries.
Okay. Because other than Mr. Vandercook, I don't know that anybody else has ever addressed council in my tenure, so I'm hoping that we get to learn or get to meet some of those people that are going to fill those gaps.
I believe Mr. Lash has been Roy Lash. I believe he's been here.
Maybe. That doesn't sound familiar, but I'll take your word for it. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Any other discussion?
Yes.
Yes, Mr. Murphy.
Thank you. I agree with my colleague when it comes down to the agenda items on here and not having someone here to actually clearly answer the questions. Even if they not here and you guys know they not gonna be here, make sure that y'all bring someone here to assist them, because that's what committee meetings is for us to be able to ask questions when it comes down to this. What concerns me with
No, you're good. You're good. Go ahead.
What concerns me with this $30 million choice neighborhood grant and then the $500,000, I've been following this for a while because I got kin folks that live in that area that could use some renovation. If you did $25,000 per house, $500,000, you're only getting 20 houses in that entire neighborhood at a rate of $25,000. And to invest $30 million into a community like this and to bring in additional opera dollars because of inflation and all of that stuff, $500,000 is a drop in the bucket when it comes down to two different particular areas, because you have one in the 9th Ward and you also have one in the 5th Ward that will be able to capture this $500,000 home owner occupied housing rehabilitation choice neighborhood. So that's gonna go so quick. I don't think that it's enough money hopefully it's some additional dollars outside of just this $500,000 that's gonna help the residents. Other than that, they finna be scrambling for rehab dollars for the 9-4 neighborhood over there by McKinley School. I believe that's in Councilman Worthy area, and then Councilwoman Winfrey Carter, excuse me, ward. $500,000 is not enough. Hopefully, we're looking for additional dollars to help build the capacity for those owner-occupied homes over there. If not, them neighborhoods in trouble. Thank you.
Madam Chair.
Yes, Mr. Edwards.
To respond to Councilman Murphy's statement, if you review the document or look deeper into the document, this was part of what they call the neighborhood initiatives money. Out of the 30 million, they allocated 4.2 million just for neighborhood renovations. And so this 500,000 is coming out of the 4.2 million. This may have been a first allocation. I don't know if there's intent.
So I got 40 seconds, not to be cutting you off. So if you got 4.2 million for neighborhood revitalization, why are we only getting 500,000? And you guys got a deadline of next year sometime that this money got to be allocated. Why are we only piecemealing the funding?
This may be the best way is that she'll be able to answer that in more detail, but I look at this and understand that this is a first phase of this. As this project has gone in phases and the availability of monies. So I look at this as a first phase of using that portion of the 30 million to begin to set up a program.
Thank
Often
you.
you set up a program.
Madam Chair?
Yes. Ms. Worthing?
So I'm assuming then that they'll be starting with Miss Winfrey Carter's ward, since they haven't started on phase 3 yet. So they're gonna go with both neighborhoods to revitalize with the 500,000? Did you say no or yes?
I was saying, sorry, I was saying no to the fact that we were talking about the start of phase 3, whether phase 3 had already started or not. I'm not sure in terms of how this money will be allocated over the course of the whole project. As I said, I think this is a first step to utilizing those monies that do the rehab. And so there'll probably be future requests related to saying once they get the program started and are able to initiate this part of the program, they may in fact initiate some more money as a part of it.
Okay, thank you.
Is there any other discussion? Seeing no movement, I do have one question, Mr. Edwards. Do we know if Habitat for Humanity is leveraging these dollars? Are they matching it? Do they have, or matching funds?
That's a question for Suzanne.
Okay, that's what, I didn't know if you knew that answer. Thank you very much. Okay, seeing no movement and any other discussion, this is to send resolution, and I gotta close that so I can see it, 230116 to Special Affairs. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. This motion, resolution 230116 is being sent to Special Affairs. Okay, Mr. Mays, resolution 230117. That was your separation.
Yeah, I separated 230117. This is a third quarter budget amendment. And so I'm gonna move it to make a motion to move it to council, and I so move.
Is there support?
Support.
It's been moved and properly seconded to move resolution 230117 to council. Is there any discussion?
Madam Chair.
Mr. Mays.
Through you to the acting finance director.
Yes, sir.
You did say you were the acting finance person, correct?
I am the acting CFO.
Acting CFO. Mr. Whittigan has left.
Yes, sir.
Already gone.
Yes, sir.
This is a third quarter budget amendment. on the surface, I see about $1 million. Which accounts is being amended? I see 3. Am I right? Now, you know I'm gonna have to get slick on these rules because we talking finance and budget. This crowd don't want to talk about it. That's from the beginning of the meeting. I can say that. They voted not to discuss budget. Which account is, what account is the 540,000 coming out of?
So part of this, the 150, which is for the insurance, is from the risk and benefit 677267.
Okay, what about the 540,000?
Point of information, Mr. Mays.
Stop that.
That is the total of the
Okay, point of order.
resolutions.
What are you doing, Ms. Priestley? If you're gonna enforce these rules and you wanna get in on it, y'all want to vote without discussion. Now, you can run the clock when I'm in the bus because you wanted no discussion. Now you wanna interrupt me. You and Mr. Murphy never wanted no discussion. I maneuver, and here you interrupted my 30
What's your
seconds.
point of info, what's your point?
Through you to the speaker, the consent agreement was for, the, regular rules that's in the rules, and also in the
Point
consent
of
agreement,
order.
the consent.
Point of
What's your
order.
point, Mr. Moon?
This guy used a point of information to take the floor. That's not a quick inquiry. He making statements. He out of order. And you said letting it go.
Mr. Mays, a point of information is also known as a request for information, and it's on rule number 26. And that rule is request information from the member holding the floor. It is not a quick inquiry, it is a
I'm
request for
holding the floor.
information.
He talking to her. Keep reading.
Its purpose is to help the member making the request for information understand the process and the potential consequences of the next
So
vote.
he's out of order. I'm the member holding the floor. He trying to talk to her. He ain't helping me.
Mr. Mays, continue.
He's out of order. So don't warn me.
Mr. Mays,
I am continuing. When the clock running, I'm continuing. And I'm continuing to say, quit treating me differently than these other folks.
Mr. Mays, continue.
I am continuing. When she speaks to me, stop the clock. He done distracted me, she done distracted me, the clock's still running. And both of them unlawful. Here I'm trying to take care of $1 million worth of business and these 2 clowns. Division. Do we have to argue about what's going on up here? Now, I sat here and let them go back and forth till it hit 0. I shouldn't have to do that. Now, common sense tell you, when they up here doing that, the clock stopped. Now, they giving you the sign not to stop it. It's at 46 seconds, 30 seconds. I was dead in the middle of finding out about 540,000 when this clown stuff started. But they didn't want discussion. They want to read off some numbers and vote. No discussion. Now all of a sudden they're geniuses. I'm going to have to buy some more time, but I might not get it because Miss Winfrey Collins is stepped out. I moved to amend this and send it to Special Affairs.
Is there support? That motion dies for lack of support. You have
Y'all
7
made up my
seconds.
damn time with that mess.
Is there any other discussion?
Yeah, what's the 540,000?
Mr. Mays, you got 7 seconds.
You so busy trying to clap down on my black butt, you can't even see a clock. I'm so tired of y'all racism, discrimination, prejudice, and bias, I don't know what to do.
Mr. Mays, your time is up. Thank you. Is there any other discussion on this budget amendment? Any other discussion? I have a question.
I'm a point of information and point of order, take your time to death. Point of information.
What's your point?
What you calling when you say you didn't have no questions. That's the person. Keep it running. You know, this is ridiculous. Don't discriminate against me for the white folks to be.
Miss, excuse me,
Yeah, they white and I'm black.
we are
It's a
not,
fact. Pissed me off. Just chewed up my time, and I couldn't get an answer from her. for
Miss
$540.
this, I have the floor, Mr. Mays, you do
I
not.
had
No, you do not.
point of information.
What is your
You
point?
interrupted my black breath, didn't you?
That's an improper point.
No, it's a quick and quiet.
No, it is
to
not. It is
clarify
an
the
improper
different
point.
treatment.
What,
I must think
can you
I'm a
explain to me why we need to do this budget amendment to the self-insurance fund?
Yes, that is, just for record, it's 150, whereas the other's 390, that's
Oh,
150.
we adjourned for lack of quorum.
Whoa! Well, again, Mays,
I don't know what to do.
Tarzan,
Paying Patty things and I'm paying the black one and the white.
Creating a new TikTok there, huh? All the TikTok.
Michael Jackson said I'm looking black and white. Just playing a game.
Dr. This is it.
We gotta
That was loud enough? Was it? Okay. I now call the legislative committee to order. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Mr. May.
Present.
Ms. Lewis.
Present.
Mr. Murphy.
President.
Priestley.
Present.
Mr. Carter.
Present.
Ms. Burns is absent. Mr. Fields is absent. Mr. Pfeiffer.
Present.
Ms. Worthing.
Present.
Ms. Denver is present.
7 present. At this time, I will take any requests for changes and or additions to the agenda.
Madam Chair,
Ms. Lewis?
thank you. I would like to add, it's a 5-minute discussion about the Michigan Fair Chance Housing. You know, in 5 minutes.
Where would you like that?
We can do it right after ordinances.
Madam Chair,
Mr. Mays?
I'm sitting right next to it, don't know what the proposed discussion was about. What did she say?
Michigan,
5-minute
it's-
discussion on what?
You should have the sheet on your table. It's the Michigan Fair Chance at Housing.
That's the one you're dealing with.
Yes, sir.
Are there
Madam
any?
Chair,
Mr. Mays?
5 minutes might not be enough. I want to have a discussion on that forever, whatever minutes it takes. 5 minutes, one person can talk in 5 minutes. We just had confusion in the last meeting. That's ridiculous.
Mr. Mays, would you like to?
Let me make my proposed agenda change, if I may. You read my mind? If I may, give me the courtesy as an elected official to at least speak. So my agenda change would say, give them the time necessary to try to see what's happening, whether it's 5 minutes, 10, or 15. I'm not in agreement with the 5 minutes based upon my past experience with this council.
So your amendment is to talk in forever?
No, I didn't say forever, you said forever. That's some slick word you using. I said 5, 10, 15 minutes or whatever time it
Well,
takes.
I'm not gonna order that without objection.
You don't have to order it without objections, it can be voted upon. I didn't ask you to order it without objections, I have the right
Does
to make
anyone
an
object?
agenda. But we can dance, but we can't talk at the same time. Now, if you taking the floor, as I try to clarify, that's on you. Now, I have the right to make proposed agenda changes for subject matter that I know a little bit about and want to know more. Now, whatever you do is your business.
Are there any other changes to the agenda? Okay, so we're gonna vote on his amended request and then go back to the original request. So we'll vote for an unlimited time for the Michigan Fair Chance at Housing Act. Madam Clerk,
Point of order.
what's your point of order?
You said my amendment is what?
Unlimited
I said
time.
5, 10,
Yeah, that doesn't
15
make sense.
minutes
You
or
gotta
whatever.
pick one.
I didn't say unlimited time, we both know.
Mr. Mays, you must pick a time. Either pick a time or it's unlimited.
I did pick a time.
Which
And
one?
I'm not gonna let you frame it to get a no vote on.
Listen, Mr.
unlimited.
Mays, pick a time.
No.
So that, okay, so
Point of
unlimited
order.
time.
Point of order.
What's your point?
I don't have to do what you say. I can make a motion that says 5, 10, 15 minutes or whatever is adequate.
Okay,
That's
well,
my motion.
Madam
You
Chair,
can't
whatever
change
he
it,
said, we're gonna vote on
Point
it.
of
Roll
order.
call.
Point of order.
What's your
Do I
point?
have to appeal you interrupted me?
That's your prerogative, Mr.
It
Mays.
is my prerogative.
You didn't,
But
you didn't have the
should be
floor, you're done.
courteous. You should
We're
be
ready to vote.
courteous. It shouldn't be an argument. My motion is for 5, 10, 15 minutes or whatever.
Let's
that is.
vote.
It ain't
Thank
unlimited.
you. Madam Chair,
Repeat
roll
my
call.
motion properly.
Point of order.
Just vote no.
Point of order. Point of order. How are you telling him to just vote no?
Mr. Mays tells you how to vote all the time, Ms. Winfrey Carter, no different.
No, he does not.
Okay.
Okay,
All right, Madam.
You better act like you got
Madam
some sense up here.
Point of order.
Mr. Murphy.
Did Councilman Mays make an amendment to the motion to do, 5, 10, or 15 minutes? If he did, do we need a second on that? On his amendment?
Madam Clerk?
Did
Before
we get a
vote.
second? We didn't.
We didn't get a second.
Yes, please.
So he wanted to add, you did not add it without objection. So you're asking for a vote. The last time we didn't make a motion. There is no motion.
So he needs to make a motion.
That's what you did the last meeting.
Okay. Mr. Mays, would you like to make that a motion?
I was trying to, and I'm telling you, you can't change my motion. My motion is for 5, 10, 15 minutes or whatever is adequate to communicate. And that's what I said, and I continue to say it, so that's the motion.
Is there a second?
I'll support that motion.
It's been made and supported. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Mr. Mayor.
Point of order. Is there any discussion on this motion? Before we just
Not
go
for an
to a
agenda
vote?
change, if I'm correct.
Say what?
There's not a discussion for an agenda change, if I am correct. Is that correct, Madam Clerk?
We did have discussion in the last meeting.
But the rules state that there is not a discussion, right?
The rules don't address it.
Okay, well, as chair, there will be no discussion.
Point of order.
Madam Clerk, what is your point of order?
Madam Chair, you getting the consent agenda mixed up with the motion. And so I don't want you to be a chair as a dictator saying it ain't. It might not be no discussion, but it's proper for you to say a motion has been made and seconded. Is there any discussion?
Well, Mr. Mays, when you can point to the rule that says that I must allow discussion.
We went over that. It don't say.
Okay, there
It
is
says
not one.
natural.
So, Madam Clerk, we're ready for roll call.
Point of order, I appeal the ruling.
The appeal, there's been an appeal to the ruling of the chair. Is there a second?
And I'm going to second his
Of course.
appeal.
Okay, discussion.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, first let me just state.
Point of order. Under y'all new rules, whoever makes the appeal talks first.
No.
Okay, sorry.
Point of order. No, it is not. It is the chair addresses the,
That's not true. Read the new rule.
Well,
Miss
Mr.
Reed.
Mays,
Point of
you
order.
can't just
We in
shout
a
that
point
out. You
of-
must
we in a point of
state
order.
the rule.
We in a point of
If you
order.
don't have it, you're out of
I
order.
will state the rule. Madam Clerk, can you give me the number to the rule?
Madam, Mr. Point of information.
Ms. Priestley?
If I may, the
Point of
rule
order.
is the
We
chair.
ain't in discussion. You said for me to state the rule. I don't need her help. Let me read it. Rule 1.2. The president of the chair presiding officer will decide all questions raised under these rules and general parliamentary practice, subject to appeal. I've appealed. The chair shall first decide the question, and any member may appeal from the decision. I appeal your decision that there's...
Keep reading.
You said no discussion.
Keep reading, Mr. Mays.
I am gonna keep reading. The chair, if the chair appeal is seconded, the chair shall state their decision that has been appealed from, and then states the question, shall the decision of the chair be reversed? The chair can state the reason for a decision, after which is open for debate. This is the part I want you to hear. Beginning with the member who made the appeal.
Mr. Mays.
And then concluding with the chair.
Mr. Mays, we all heard it, and we all can agree that it states the chair can state the reason and then moves on. So I'm going to go ahead and state my ruling, and then we will go to the other members. So I forgot what we were even doing. Oh yeah, so I said that there would be no discussion on a rule change, or on a agenda change. And Ms. Donahue had stated as the clerk that there are no specifics. And so as the chair.
Point of order.
You cannot point,
Point of order.
what is your point of order?
You're
Please state
getting
a
little
rule.
too much. You saying what she said. Save that for your debate.
Mr.
You
Mays,
are-
that's an
you
improper
are
point of
the-
order. I am not out of order. You
Point
are
of
out of order.
No,
You are out of
you
order.
just keep talking on a point
I'm
of
giving you
order.
your
You
first
out of order.
warning.
Okay, well, warn me,
Okay.
white lady.
Okay, I did.
I ain't studying. I'm tired of it.
So, I asked the clerk her opinion, and she stated that it is not specific. So, I chose not to have a discussion. And then that's when there was a point of order. So, who would like to speak on this? Mr. Mays?
Yeah, Madam Chair, you screwed that all up. You got appeal from because you said it ain't no discussion. The clerk said it was silent on that. You was finna call for the vote. A motion been made, properly second. Everybody from junior high to high school know after a motion is made and properly second, if it's silent, it's a discussion on the motion. And you tried to ramrod it. It ain't gonna be no discussion. And we appealed you. Now, if the majority of your colleagues is Mr. Murphy and Liddell Lewis who wants to condone your behavior, your bias, you the one that called Ms. Winfrey Carter and Tanya Burns ghetto.
Mr. Mays, again, you need to stick.
You interrupted my
No, I am
argument.
not. That is out
Point
of
of
order.
order.
I will issue your second warning.
You can issue the second warning and you get sued.
Okay, I'm issuing your second warning
Okay, what about my second warning?
because you are not germane and
Yes,
you
I
are
am.
insulting
You
colleagues.
call them ghetto, you treat us black folks like we
I'm
do.
gonna ask you to leave the meeting.
I'll leave the meeting and sit. Oh, you want me to leave out or can I sit and listen at you?
No,
and
you
listen?
are dismissed from this meeting.
No, I'm just dismissed. You ordered me out, Mr. Metcalf. If she ordered me out, you can escort me out, because I don't give up my elected seat for no foolishness. Now, what you talking about? You think I'm doing it myself, Miss Worthy, or you ordered me out? Either way it
I have
goes,
asked
I'm
you to
gonna make
leave
the
this
record
meeting.
clear. Say
I
what?
have asked you to leave this meeting for
Okay, well,
disorderly
everybody want
conduct.
to. You ordered me out?
For disorderly conduct, correct.
Okay, because I said that you treat folks differently and biased. You do. You're discriminatory, you're biased. You're mad because I'm making a point about discussion on the motion.
Mr. Mays,
You white and I'm black.
that is correct.
Right, is it a cultural difference or racism? You moving an elected official wrongfully out of his.
Okay, I have asked Mr. Mays to leave this meeting.
I'm gathering up my books. Do
What
you
is
see
your point of
that?
order?
Do you see
Excuse
that?
me?
I ain't
point of order?
studying.
Yes, I did. And you better change your tone. I'll be leaving this meeting
Okay.
as well, because you know what? I'm not gonna sit here
And be treated.
and be
different.
treated differently, and I'm not gonna sit here and listen to your tone.
To elected officials.
You need to learn how to chair
I
this.
need to go back up to Hamilton High School and talk to my nephew there, but you ain't talking to me
Have a
like
great
that.
evening. See you
It's a
later.
problem with you at Hamilton with the black kids.
That tone you need to lose. Not talking to children, you talking to adults.
We ain't studying.
I'm not sure about that.
I'm sure.
I'm not sure if you're an adult,
I'm sure about it.
Oh, Mr. Mays.
and you got people,
Mr.
you
Mays,
teaching
I
children.
almost cussed.
This don't make sense.
I almost cussed.
Okay,
I'll be
since
back
he is,
for-
leaving the meeting, then we're not gonna,
Excuse me, point of order. He needs to be escorted out of here using inflammatory racist rhetoric. He needs to be escorted out of here for using inflammatory racist rhetoric.
You ain't running
Please, would someone please, Officer Metcalf or someone, please escort Councilman Mays out of this meeting for continuing to disrupt the body and use inflammatory racist rhetoric.
I'm talking about you, and it's inflaming you, handkerchief head, Negro.
You have a great day.
God bless you.
Amen.
You looking funny, sitting up there talking.
Yep, you're looking funny leaving. So thank you so much.
I'll be back.
Proceed, Madam Chair.
I'm elected, I'll be back. You'll be gone. Just like Kate Fields, Maurice Davis,
We're gonna take a 5-minute
You will be
recess.
gone.
Thank you.
You will be gone.
Yeah.
Or 5, 10, or 15-minute discussion on the Fair Housing, Michigan Fair Chance at Housing Act. Madam Clerk, roll call?
It can be, it can be voice vote.
Oh, voice vote. I forgot, committee. All those in favor say aye.
You know,
Those opposed say nay.
Nay.
Nay. All right, so I believe there was 1 aye and 4 nays, so that does not pass. So now, do you want to change your vote?
Yes. No, I want to change my vote.
Oh.
I want to move to have a 10-minute,
You want to make an amendment?
amended motion to allow 10 minutes.
Is there support? Okay, so now it is 10 minutes.
You can order it without objection.
Without, and I'm going to order that without objection.
Okay.
All right, so now we are at public speaking. Are there any members that wish to address the public?
Hello, people. My name is R.L. Mitchell. I live at 759 East Linden Avenue. As you peoples of Flint saw what the fireman was talking about after he got his fleet of vehicles and all that stuff, talking about he don't need no more financial, but now it's the popo turn. But whoever heard of such thing, a fireman getting fired on his day off, and then he gonna sue the city. And the cheaper fireman trying to say, like, they all said they don't need no more money. Mr. Mike got deep pockets, and they're taking care of whatever's gonna happen, like we ain't got no money at the council. But now it's the popo turn. Up there, the ombudsman got the city of Flint, let the popo run them out of town because they don't want to do violence to the criminals that shooting at them because they don't want the people to know how they run the police department. I mean, the police, you see the dude almost killed us. He probably was going to kill the fruit man right in front of me. They train not to show violence, but they'll beat you up right in front of you. You don't know which way they're coming from. I seen it happen all down Saginaw Street. And look, they told me to get the F away. I seen the dude kill Mr. Friday right at the jury shop when I moved from St. John. Two of them, two black ones, they had to be policemen. You got that? And nobody saying nothing about it and all that. And my councilman Murphy sitting over there. I thought I seen him chewing bubble gum and just moving his, he probably just grinning his teeth because he wanted, hanging up next to that white woman, this one with the money, talking about giving him a biscuit, keeping him cool and stuff and all that junk and handkerchief, whatever, handkerchief. Hey, what is a handkerchief? I want in this brain, what is a handkerchief? I got 4 more seconds, lady.
Okay.
I see the clock from here. And another, and look here, you students, why don't you bring your students up here to learn something?
Thank you, Mr.
Going to heaven
Time is over.
in that white neighborhood and all that junk. That's where.
Thank you, Mr.
Cotton.
I can really
What's that? And I knew all that junk.
Mr. Mitchell?
We watching the president Cotton. Don't you talk about that?
Is there any other member of the public that would like to speak? Yeah, come on up.
Hello, board members. My name is Jadell Allen Bay. I'm a Flint resident. I live around the corner here. I'm here representing Nation Outside. April is Second Chance and Fair Housing Month. About 3 weeks ago, I came across and presented to City Council about an issue that impacts over 47,000 residents in the city of Flint. And if we go with those who have misdemeanors, it's a lot more than that. And so when we talk about fair chance housing, it's a major issue in our city. It's a major issue in our county. We've been privileged with Nation Outside to hold one of the largest expungement fairs ever that happened in this state. And we were privileged to look at 8,000 pages full of felonies. 8,000 pages. So this is a serious issue because of the fact that most of these people who are impacted need a house, need a home to stay in. It's over 2 million people. I've given you these facts here. There's over 2 million people in the state of Michigan that are returning citizens, that this impacts. Genesee County, along with Wayne County, is one of the highest counties in 2 categories. Those who are impacted justly, just as impacted, and of course we understand poverty. We're asking that this committee, that our city council pass a resolution, that they do something that's never been done before. Because in fact, we've never been in a position like this before where people who need a place to stay and they're being discriminated against.
Your time is up.
I apologize. I
No,
didn't see it.
it's fine, but I'm sure you'll be called up to speak some more during the special order. Thank you.
But thank you for allowing me to speak.
Thank you. All right, any other members of the public wish to speak? Seeing no movement, then we are at council response. Would anyone like to respond?
Yes, Madam Chair.
Ms. Priestley.
Mr. Allen Bay, I don't know if I spoke to you last time when you came to council and gave your presentation, but I have a friend whose son is a convicted. He's
Returning citizen.
Returning citizen, there you go. Yes, he was convicted of a crime and spent several years in prison. And much to her chagrin, he ended up living with her. And he still is technically living with her, although he is residing across the street. But they do, and he could not find housing. So I need to know more information about this act, but I do know the struggles. And I support the concept. What the bills ends up being, that's another story, but I support the concept, definitely.
You can't respond now, but during the special order, you can. Any other members like to respond?
Yes.
Mr. Murphy?
Thank you. I'm not sure if you thought that 10 minutes was for right now, but yeah, that's what I kind of figured, but we're going to allow you the opportunity to come back up and present the 10-minute presentation. The reason why I voted no against it, because I wanted to give you more than 5 minutes.
Yeah, thank you.
I attended your forum. I attended your forum at the library. I did not get a shirt, so you owe me.
Got one with me.
Good. But it was a nice forum that you had at the library. I look forward to working with you. I know in my ward, it's a whole bunch of houses that return to citizens get, on the east side, the north side, and my Shirley Caesars, what you name it. But I look forward to working with you, and hopefully we can get them in here rehabbing some of these homes and putting them back on the market for home ownership, so we can own some things. So I look forward to your presentation.
Any other members wish to speak?
Madam Chair.
Ms. Lewis?
Thank you. This is very important, and I take it very seriously because I have a lot of family members that are just as impacted, but let's really get specific. I have a lot of individuals in the second ward that are just as impacted. So for me not to get on board with this so they can have safe and reliable housing, I will be remiss to do so. So I am excited to work with Nation Outside as well as with the administration so we can do all things necessary to tackle this issue. So we are definitely looking forward to your presentation, looking forward to getting into the meat of that resolution and putting things in place so we can enforce these things. I am quite confident that my colleagues, after they read and they see what you're trying to do, I know that they will have a better understanding, and I'm quite confident that they'll be on board. Because as council people, we have to be council people for all people. And so our returning citizens, just as impacted individuals, they are a significant part of Flint's population. And we want to make sure that we give people a right to live. All right? So thank you so much for coming. And we definitely wish that you all would have said more, but your presence speaks volumes. So thanks for coming. And thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. I'll end and speak myself. I do also have family that fits this, and I guess we're all biased against our family, but they're not bad people. They just need another chance. I am interested in the limited circumstances because I am also a mother, and anyone who has been violent or sexual abuse, that type of stuff, that would be the one thing that I think me or my constituents might be concerned with, as forcing landlords to allow that as a tenant. Now, I don't know if that's, what those circumstances are, but I absolutely think those that are, the crimes aren't significant in which, they've have a long record of abuse and violence, then I am absolutely for this. So I am interested in hearing that. If you could tell me the limited circumstances when you come up. And so I am in agreement with this as well. Everyone deserves a second chance. Thank you. All right.
Madam Chair.
Ms. Priestley.
I'd like to make a motion to adopt the consent agenda.
There's a motion to adopt the consent agenda. Is there a second?
Support.
It's been moved and supported. Are there any separations? There is no discussion
Yes.
on the consent agenda, so
Yes,
Mr. Murphy?
I just want to separate 230112.
122. 122.
Yeah, is that the same one?
That's not 112.
230122.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are there any other separations? Hearing none, then we will vote on the consent agenda, and that is 230123. Roll call, Madam Clerk? Oh, it's a voice. I keep forgetting. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Okay, no nays, so there's 5 ayes, 0 nays. So that brings us to 230122. Mr. Murphy, you separated that?
I just wanted to briefly talk about this ordinance. This ordinance is for the emergency ordinance to amend chapter general offenses by adding section 31-41, trespassing unlawful occupancy, which shall read in its entirety as well. And I just want to read it for the record. 1, no person in the city of Flint shall do any of the following. 1.
Oh, we need a motion.
We need a motion.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
I move to approve, to move ordinance number 230122 to council.
Is there support?
Support.
It's been moved and supported. Mr. Murphy,
Thank you
now
for
you
that.
have the
Thank
floor.
you for catching that. This says, except as authorized by a code official, enter or remain in a structure that has been condemned, found to be unsafe, and or found to be unfit for human occupancy pursuant to the International Property Maintenance Code as adopted. 2, except as authorized by code officials, deface or remove a place card or notice which has been posted by a code official pursuant to the International Property Maintenance Code as adopted. 3, except as authorized by a fire code officials, enter into a or remain in a structure that has been found to be unsafe and or hazardous and or for which as evacuations has been ordered pursuant to International Fire Code. 4, except as authorized by fire code officials, deface or remove a place card or notice posted which has been posted by fire code officials pursuant to the International Fire Code as adopted. I love this ordinance. It is talking about, people squatting in homes, correct? Who put this together?
Is there someone from administration that can, where did Mr. Edwards go?
He's hiding behind the clock.
Attorney Gurley.
Okay, thank you.
Through you to Attorney Gurley. Could you elaborate on this?
When you've read the ordinance into record, this will go into immediate effect.
Immediate effect?
Immediate effect, emergency ordinance for this one. It is to prevent anyone from going into buildings that are unsafe, not only squatting, but just to be there at all when they're dangerous.
So we really didn't have nothing on record?
I'm sorry?
We didn't have anything on record to enforce this for people that's going into buildings that they do not own?
Not specifically for unlawful occupancy.
Does this supersede squatters' right?
I think it might be on a case-by-case basis if you can. So I wouldn't give a general yes or no for that question.
Okay. All right. Thank you for that. I'm done. I have no more
Would
questions.
anyone else like to speak?
No.
I have a question because I'm curious about that. So how is this different than, is there a state law or squatting and being in a home, because that is a problem in my ward where there are people living in a condemned home. Is that what this?
This does not address condemned per se. From the books of this addresses any build, it does say condemned. So yes, it would impact squatters if the building has been condemned. So I do.
So that just gives us official legal capacity to arrest or kick a person off the property?
This would allow you to do that because this ordinance will go into effect immediately.
Okay. Thank you.
So,
you had 44 seconds left if you...
yeah, I did. So what about those that live in homes that need to be rehabbed that is...
Point of order.
What is your point?
There's no ability to bank time.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Okay, well, go ahead.
We have Monday. Anyone else want to speak on this?
On the first round.
No, there's no rounds anymore. It's just, you get your chance. Okay.
Point of order.
What's your point?
There's 2 rounds of 5 minutes on every motion.
No.
I thought so.
Unless it's referred to a committee, then it's 3 minutes. This is not referred to a committee, this is referred to the council. You get 2 rounds of 5 minutes.
Madam Clerk, can you clarify?
I was gonna say, this is, we didn't do that the last meeting.
Nobody brought it to your attention. I'm bringing it to the attention. There's 2 rounds of 5 minutes.
In committee?
And any motion,
I thought it was,
any motion that is not referred to, like if we want to, point of order, and I'm speaking on that. If we referred this to another committee, it's 1 round of 3 minutes. If there's a main motion, sending it to council or open debate, it's 2 rounds of 5 minutes.
does anyone have the, I didn't bring mine.
You know, I was just going by what we did the last meeting. So
No, yeah.
Does anyone have clarity? It's Rule 19. Where that is? Do you know where that is? Because I thought that changed rules.
I wasn't going to talk about it last time.
One round. Say that again?
Yeah.
Okay, Rule 28.3 says a council member who desires to speak on any matter before the city council must obtain the floor by being recognized by the presiding chair. A council member must be in their seat when requesting to be recognized. Unless otherwise specified by these rules, each member has the right to speak up to twice on the same question on the same day for 5 minutes during each round, but cannot make a second speech on the same question so long as any member who has not spoken on that question desires the floor. So that is correct. There would be another round of 5 minutes each. Would anyone else like to speak in the first round? Mr. Murphy, you are, have the floor for the second round.
Thank you, and thank you for catching that too, Councilman Pfeiffer. So, if someone, through you to the city attorney, if someone is living in a house that is dilapidated, which I know a lot of residents, houses in need of just repair, and a lot of issues, if that house considered condemned, does this ordinance allow the city to enforce them to move out their own personal property?
As far as I'm concerned,
The only thing that comes into play for 3 minutes is
to get an order of eviction, you wouldn't be able to
motion to refer to a committee. Date on that should be 3 minutes.
But we also can enforce this on them if that's what we wanted to do. So that's a problem for me, as a council person, because we got so many people living in homes that, need repairs. Now, if we had some funding to help fix their homes, I'm okay with that. But I'm not, and I know I'm dealing with a situation in my ward now where an older lady in her 90s don't want to move, and her house probably will be considered as condemned, and I'm probably dealing with a lot of people in my ward that is dealing with that. I would prefer to see them get some help as far as their house being improved on instead of, and I'm not saying this is for that, but this protect us if we wanted to make them move. So because there's no protection with them in here, I'm not sure that I want to vote for this as written. I think something we probably need to look at working on this, because there's so many people out here that's got tarps and stuff on their house, and the ceilings is messed up, and just a lot of stuff need to happen with their homes, and I wanna see their house get fixed up, and I don't wanna see us having to, this just, I got mixed feelings about this. I understand the part with the squatter stuff. Had this not be dealing with, privately owned, owner-occupied homes of people that just don't have the means and,
Point of information.
yeah.
Are you aware this is for trespassing? If you have a right to be there, it's not, this is only for trespassing.
But the city attorney just also said that this can also, be enforced through you,
No,
through the
if
city
you own it,
attorney.
you're not
Am I
trespassing.
correct?
You
Did you just also say that this could apply for people that live in condemned homes? You still would have to take them to court, but you can use this ordinance to enforce them that's living in homes that is considered condemned.
So the order is what we're disputing here. So if the house has been condemned and the person is trespassing, this would apply to them, not somebody who lives in a house that has not been condemned legally. So this applies to somebody who should not be on the premises who's trespassing.
Right, so you said that at the beginning, and I thought I heard you say that if someone lived in a home too and it was considered condemned, then.
Yes, if it's condemned and then they are not supposed to be in the house.
Okay, so that's separate. If it's condemned and they're not supposed to, but what if they living in the home and it's condemned?
Point of information.
Yeah.
If it was condemned, they couldn't have power or water.
Oh, there's some people living in some houses that's condemned that got power and water.
Well, then they're not condemned
Oh,
because,
yeah, it's condemned. It's condemned.
They do.
Trust the process, it's condemned. We just need to, yeah.
think it's condemned or
No,
the
I
city
don't think,
condemned
I know
it?
it's condemned.
If it's on the condemned list and they have been forbidden to go into that property, they are trespassing. And this
Okay.
ordinance would apply to them.
But it won't mess with people that's living in homes that's condemned.
Condemned is a,
That, they legally living in condemned houses.
you can't legally live in a condemned house.
Yeah, how come you can't, if you own it and it's condemned, but you can still live there because you ain't got no, the means to fixing it up?
Because the term condemned would mean that a legal process is taking place.
Oh.
And it's been condemned, especially under the international code as listed here. So it's not because somebody has a tarp on their house. It has to be a actual legal process that has declared that property condemned.
It's a whole bunch of people need some help, and I'm telling you, we need to be working on trying to help people, and I'm not trying to get people put on the other side of the curb because they living in condemned homes, and I'm just saying, I'm being honest, that there's people in my ward are living in condemned homes that may not need to live there, but they are, but I'm trying to work to see what I can do to help them. So.
That would be a different process where they may need assistance, with home repairs, roof repairs. That's different than what this ordinance addresses.
Okay. All right. I'm halfway good.
Okay. Would anyone else like to speak in the second round?
Yes.
Ms. Priestley?
This ordinance a lot of it has to do with where the fire marshal comes in and says to the occupants of that building, this is not safe, you must leave. That's one of the things. The other thing is these buildings that are actually gone through the legal process of being condemned, where they are not, they have no water, all their, the utilities have been cut off. And in that case, they should not be in that house. And hopefully before that process happens, the legal condemnation of their home, that they have been able to reach out for help and receive that help and prevent that condemnation. So I am for this emergency ordinance. I think it'll stop a lot of what's going on. And I mean, I get at least one phone call a week about squatters or people living in situations where they shouldn't be in unsafe housing. And I don't want them dying in my ward. Thank you.
Ms. Lewis?
Thank you. So I definitely stand in agreement in passing this ordinance, because in the second ward, we experience a lot of trespassing. A great example is the home on the corner of Stewart Avenue and Kyle Road. It's now in the first ward. However, that was a house with CP on the side, and individuals saw that it appeared to be an okay structure, but it had CP on the side, meaning that it's been cut, plugged, and ready for demolition. Well, the unfortunate part was, people, they were still coming in because it still had door, it had an armor guard, and had a real door, so it fit the category of a shelter. And so when people come in there in the winter, they are heating the house through untraditional means, which could put their life in jeopardy as well as the surrounding neighbors. So that's what I hear when I see this trespassing. Again, you can't trespass on your own property. And then we are also looking at, when we're talking about our homeowners who home needs some assistance, it may be condemnable, but until you have CP on the side, it's not condemned. Yeah, so, so hopefully we can work towards getting them that assistance, but hopefully we can pass this, because a lot of neighbors, they're fearful. In the winter, they're fearful that someone's going to burn the house down trying to keep warm, as well as their house. People moving in, creating trap houses. And we don't need that in our neighborhood. And so this will give the police an opportunity to get the individuals out of the house before any bad action or occurrence can happen. So I know that this would be a big benefit to all of our wards. So I'm definitely going to stand in support of this. But I just want to make sure and just make it plain that it's exclusively talking about someone that's trespassing on property that does not belong to them. All right, thank you.
I'm gonna speak as well. Oh, yeah, you said that.
Yeah, no, I changed my mind.
He changed his mind. Mr. Pfeiffer's gonna speak.
Through you to the city attorney, this doesn't go into effect immediately. This goes into effect immediately on Monday? Not today? Because we can't put anything in committee, so this will be on Monday's agenda for adoption. Is that correct?
So,
Right.
It would have to be on Monday.
Okay. Just want to put that on the record. It's not today. It'll be upon action by the council. Thank you.
And then it would be in effect for 60 days
Yep.
on Monday.
What happens after 60 days? It's no longer an emergency?
Point of information. These are both the same. The first one is just an emergency.
Okay. I got it. I do have a question, because there was a home near me that had no water, and then there was a sign on their home, like a, like the white sign that goes up. Does that mean it's condemned?
What did the white sign?
I don't know. I didn't go up to see.
I wouldn't be able to speak to that because I don't know what the
So,
sign said.
are there notices, and I don't know if anyone, Ms. Wilcox isn't here, but, that say this must be fixed in such and such a time? Is that something that would go up? Not sure.
I can't speak to that.
Okay.
I was looking for city treasurer, and I don't see her here. She would know more about the water situation, but,
So, there is a process with it being condemned. Do residents get a certain amount of time to fix what's broken? Okay.
yeah, it would depend. If it's an emergency situation where it's beyond repair,
Okay.
it could potentially be demolished. So it really would depend on the nature of the issue.
Point of information.
What's your point?
But there's a court process before any of that would happen to get order to demolish. Is that correct?
Absolutely.
Yes, there's a process.
Okay. Well, then there is some protection then for residents who need that help, I think. So I do support this, because I also get many concerns about squatters and unsavory activities in homes that have been condemned. So it is unsafe for those nearby. You know, even if there's like human feces, excrement, that attracts animals. I mean, it's disgusting to think about, but this is like what we deal with. And then I get the calls like, I feel unsafe, I have, you know, mice or whatever coming into my home because that's not taken care of. And so I am in favor of this if this helps us do that quicker. Because I've had times where I've called and like not much action is happening on a situation like this. And so I'm gonna vote yes because this would help the residents in my wards. Thank you. Anyone else? I think good. All right, so roll call on ordinance 230122. Madam Clerk? Oh, I will never, we didn't do this last time, so it's gonna take my brain a little rewiring. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, so all in favor.
Motion to adjourn.
There's a motion to adjourn.
No.
Oh, sorry. Oh, sorry. I withdraw my motion.
Okay, there's no motion to adjourn.
Do I need to
We will now have our special 10-minute special order on the Michigan Fair Chance at Housing Act. If Mr. John.
Bring my whole team up.
Okay, you can all
Can I
come
bring my
up.
team?
Well, it's a lot of y'all.
I'm sorry. I didn't put it on the bottom of my nose.
Watch out.
I need my
10 minutes, Eva.
Yeah,
10 minutes.
That's why I'm wearing my sweater.
that's why I wore my jacket.
Yeah, but they're gonna bring a winter coat.
I mean, just one.
I got my winter coat. My spring coat. Or my fall coat, whatever you want to call it. It matches your hair. I like it.
Yes. So they don't have a microphone, so I will speak loud. Can everybody hear me?
Yes.
All right. So good afternoon. My name is John L. Allen Bay, and I want to introduce you to some special people.
My name is Chris Cousinall, and I'm a returning citizen as well, and I can attest to the difficulties that one would face trying to get housing. I myself got out and I wanted to go down to Grand Blanc and get a nice apartment. And I was prejudiced against because I had something on my record that they didn't like. So I've experienced the injustice firsthand. And I also have a lot of friends and people in the community that have gone off to prison and have come back and have also been impacted by not having opportunities to get fair housing. So I support this fair housing.
Hi, my name is Charmel Allen Robinson, and I'm also a returning citizen. And I would just like to say your concerns and your fears of living near one of us, I think you should be more concerned with not knowing what someone has done than knowing what I have done. And since I know the consequences of anything negative or bad, it's less likely that I'll do anything to harm you than someone that you have no idea of who they are. And we just want to live normal lives just like you guys. We've done our time and we got our education. Now we just want a home, like follow the yellow brick road to some place where we can rest. Just like you, that's all. Thank you.
Good evening, my name is Stacy Barker and I'm justice impacted. I served 22 years, 3 months and 18 days for killing a man who was attempting to sexually assault me. And I heard what you said about a violent crime. I just hope you take everything into consideration. I just hope that the people are fairly vetted because I've been home for 14 years. I haven't had any problems. I've run my own business. I just got married and we just bought a home in Flint Township. So just because a person did have a violent crime, I just hope that they're vetted, just looked into. So thank you so much.
So those are a few people that I wanted you to meet. I'm John L. Allen Bay, served 29 years in Michigan Department of Correction for second-degree murder. every day I live my life trying to correct that mistake by doing something to impact someone's life positively. When I first came home, I was discriminated against, and I had to get my own mortgage in order for me to be able to have a place to call home. I believe that every citizen, no matter what, deserves to be able to have a home. I think my neighbors like me. So when we talk about violent offenders or people, let's think about second chances first. Let's judge by merit of where you are today. I would hope that no one judges any one of you for what you did 20 years ago, 25 years ago, or 30 years ago. Because most of the people who are being discriminated against done something 20, 25, 30 years ago. And they moved forward. Those people that just came up here, they possess master's degrees, bachelor's. They're productive citizens. I'm very biased to this population. I'm always trying to tear down the ceiling because I believe that no one should be discriminated against, especially when we talk about a place to stay. It's no way that you could be productive in this world without having a place to stay. It just can't happen. And every day when I drive home, I look forward for getting home after a long day and being able to put my feet on some carpet and know that this is my home. This is my home. And I think that when we talk about this fair chance, I know that there's laws that are in place to protect our community. And this is only to be in accordance with that. I know there's questions about people who have CFCs and other cases, but one of the things that we know is that the law allows us to be protected. That means that you can't live certain places. We understand that. So we're not trying to change anything. We're just trying to give the opportunity to those who deserve an opportunity. And I know that Flint is a unique place, a very unique place. I go all around the country to promote Ignite. I work for the sheriff's office. I'm a returning citizen, and I have that position. So I believe that if a person has a skill set, has the credentials, they shouldn't be discriminated against. We had a guy that I wanted to bring and present to you today that had a 758 credit score and was denied a place that only cost $600. He has his master's degree. He works for General Motors. Tax claim was almost $88,000. And he was denied a place not because of his credit score, because of the fact that he caught a felony in 1990. And he can't live anywhere except in his mother's basement. And he's 52 years old. And the story he told me was something. He was out on a date, and the young lady asked him, where do you live? And he told her, I live with my mother. And the young lady says, I don't want a man that lives with his mother. And when we say that, I heard someone laugh because that's funny, right? Nobody wants that, right? That doesn't even make sense to us, right? But the reason being is because of the fact he can't stand on his own until he's able to save enough money to purchase his own home. And I don't think that that should be fair. That's not right. And as a city council, you represent every district in our city. And every district in our city possess people who have felonies. You can't get away from that. But what we can do is say, what can we do to make our community better, safer, And the statistics show that when people have value, things change. Value means a place where you call your own, a place where you can be able to raise your family, set principles, be able to know that once your children leave here, that you've done something to instill in their lives. I look at you and I know that every one of you take pride in your home. And I think that's what every returning citizen wants to do, is take pride in knowing that they have a home. So we pray that you unanimously push this, because this is the right thing to do. And no matter where, when you go back and leave from here, I know that the residents and in your community and where you are, in your wards and your districts, will be proud to know that you represented them to do something that's right for our community. So I thank you for this time. We thank you for allowing us to have this platform. And any questions you have, I think we can answer some.
Can you clarify what you're asking of council to do exactly?
Well, we propose a fair chance housing resolution. And I thought everybody was sent their emails. We sent them out to emails to all the, and our city attorney, to be able to put something together that you could be able to stand on. I'm sorry, I thought everybody received it. I sent them to your emails that were registered for city council.
Oh, I do have it. It came back, it was in March.
Yes, okay. But we sent them to everyone based on the emails that were on file.
Yep.
And so I tried to do that, but I wanted to bring something tangible today that you can look at and be able to, see exactly what we're doing here. And we're just saying that we believe that this is the right timing, and this should be done to protect our city and give those afforded rights to returning citizen population.
Madam Chair,
Ms. Priestley?
I'd like to make a motion to extend this special order for another 10 minutes so that council can make comments or ask questions.
Is there a support? Support.
Without objection. Without objection.
Oh, I'm going to order that without objection. Does anyone from council have questions that would like to speak?
Okay. I just have a comment, basically, because I said during the council response how I feel about it. And I'd like to see the bill and read it, and I know that nothing is set in stone until it's approved by both houses, both chambers of the Michigan legislature. But one of the things that my friend's son had problems with is finding a job. I mean, returning citizens need to have a job so that they can afford housing. And he struggled at low-end jobs and finding them. Part of it is him. We're not going to deny this. But he had a decent job, and then his background check came back. Even though he said he had been incarcerated. They hired him, and then when the background check came back, he was let go. So this is something, obviously, that also needs to happen because they can't afford housing without that job.
810-969-0449. Tell them to give me a call. I'll give him a job tomorrow.
Oh, he's across the street.
Okay. Well, I'll go visit him, make sure he gets an Ignite, and make sure that we give him a skill set so when he comes home that he can do something, okay?
Yeah, he didn't offend since he got out.
Okay.
Thank you. Mr. Pfeiffer?
So I'm looking at this, and number 1 and number 4 kind of contradict each other, meaning, you have it in front of you?
Yes, I do. Yes, sir.
If the landlord's prohibited to ask about it, no offense, but I would probably say no if I seen a convicted murderer too. So wouldn't you want that dialogue to happen? Why would you prohibit that dialogue?
We're saying on the front end, like when there's initial contact, right, with a person that's trying to get your property, We're saying that that shouldn't be the first thing that you say. That first of all, we should run some things and make sure that he has a job, make sure that he's been on the job, make sure that the credit score fits where we are. And then once we vet that, then we can get into a discussion about, hey, you ever been convicted of something? Let's talk about that. I think it's about really having a dialogue where the restrictive barrier doesn't come up front.
Okay.
It's not the front end of it. I think that that's what this is actually trying to say there.
Okay.
Does that make sense? Because it fits.
Well, I guess, but you wouldn't know, or that, I mean, is that a general topic of, that's the first thing that someone asks generally?
Yes.
Oh, it is?
That's why we're having this discussion. That's
I would
why-
have thought that that would have been come after you did a background check. That's initially?
Right. Yeah, so that's.
It's been some years since I've rented, and so I'm not.
Right, so that's been the red flag. That's been the first line of defense where, okay, now you shut down. And instead of being able, that shouldn't be a factor because of the fact that everyone should be treated equally at that point. And then once we get into that, now I can go back and say, hey, listen, there's something on your record. Let's talk about this here. You know, because of the fact that this is my concern about this here. That's a little bit different.
Okay.
And that's what we're trying to do, is stop that barrier from just hitting and then we have no recourse except I'm homeless.
Yeah, no, I guess this is
No, I'm
outside of
glad
my
you
wheelhouse,
asked.
and I
Yes,
just
sir.
want to make sure that, because I would want to hear and discuss that, you know, this happened X amount of years ago, and this is what I've done, or.
Right.
That dialogue should absolutely happen.
And that's what this is about. It's like when when she said she was convicted of that. The first thing you think is second degree. Like if you ask me and I got a second degree murder, then automatically, you know, no, right? And then once you would dig into the circumstances, hold on, well, let me look at it a little bit differently, okay? And I think that's all we're asking, is to get an opportunity to be able to live someplace, not just based on it, looking at it at face value, you got second degree murder, right? It's more to it than that, I think.
What are the, you note this a couple of times, under limited circumstances, and my colleague mentioned it. What are those limited circumstances where you would allow what you're trying to prevent?
So,
can you give me a for instance?
Give me an understanding of, for instance, if there is a person who has done something to a child, right?
Okay.
Well, there's laws that restrict that because of the fact that in certain communities, if there's a school, if there's a library, we're not saying to just void all of that and allow this person to live there. And I just want you to understand that. That's not what this is saying. This is saying that the rules and laws that are in place, they are the ones that factor determines where that person can stay and where they can't. We're not trying to ask for that because that's law.
Okay.
We're saying that when there is a person that doesn't have anything like that and they need a place to stay, that they're able to live wherever they can live.
So anyone that doesn't have a housing restriction, if they have a housing restriction, then, okay.
There's a difference.
Okay.
And so that's, to take that worry away, that's not at all what this is trying to do at all.
Okay.
This is trying to put people who are just as impacted in a home as a rental.
Ms. Lewis.
Okay.
All right, thank you, Mr.
Thank you. Thank you for allowing me.
Oh, she's
no, we
has
still got
questions.
I'm sorry.
Plus, you might have something you got something you want to add to.
I couldn't hear you that well.
This is fine. I just want to add this piece. You know, as a black female, and with a higher degree, I understand about, I guess, the fair chance opportunity, because when you hear the name Liddell Lewis, and I'm coming from Flint, Michigan 48504, people already have their perception. They think I am a black male, and then they're looking at, wait a minute, this person lives in the hood. So you can automatically take me out of the running for many occupations. And it happened several times, I know. I'm qualified, but I didn't fit the parameters. And they never met me. I never had a chance to articulate myself.
Right.
Only thing they saw is she has a black name and she lives in the hood, Flint, Michigan. And so when we start talking about having a fair chance, we all deserve a fair chance. No matter what your name is, Lakeisha Jenkins, Betty Strakowski, we all need a fair chance. And unfortunately, we don't get that. And so just taking that scenario over to our to this act, this is giving the returning citizens an opportunity to put forth, this is my credit score. This is where I work. I am a reputable, qualified citizen to live in this community. So at least start the conversation. So after you see that I'm qualified, then we can talk about my justice impactedness. So this is just a foot in the door, so you just won't turn someone away. Have you been to prison? Oh, because just like this young lady said, someone was trying to sexually assault her. And that's why she went to prison. That's totally different than her driving down the street and shooting at people, or something being gang related. So we have to deal with things on a case-by-case basis, and I feel that this fair chance housing is allowing our returning citizens to get that fair chance to be dealt with on that one-on-one individual basis. So the landlord, they can make a good decision, because you might come out better renting to a returning citizen compared to someone without, I guess, that has not been justice impacted but does not have respect for your home. So this is just an opportunity for people to have a fair meeting with one another. Thank you. Sorry about that. Go ahead.
First, I want to.
Before, can we add 5 minutes without objection?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you. I want to applaud the speakers that you had come up and speak. It was heartfelt just to listen to their stories. My heart went out to you guys, and just to hear you guys' story, that was my selling point. So if you want to sell this, have them speak, and you sit down and let them speak. But anyways, no, I'm just playing. But they really, I did appreciate them speaking. They touched me. And I think about me when I ran for city council, and they put out literature on me and said that I was a drug dealer, and said drug dealer want to be city council person. So they took what I used to do 25, 30 years ago, and they started twisting my testimony and making it seem as if I was out here doing some stuff, and that could have cost me the election, but the Lord saw different, and He blessed me to get through that. So I'm a testimony of what you could do, and if I could change my life and be in this seat when I was on the other side, anybody else can do it. So my question to you is, if we pass this, what happens? Like, what happens? What changes if us as a body, once we get a resolution and we pass this, if say we put it on the agenda and have it ready by Monday, what happens next?
Well, what happens is that the landlords, not all landlords, let me clarify that. I don't want to blanket everyone, because there are landlords that we have on file that really work hard to be able to do that. But what we're talking about, immediately landlords will not be able to use that key in order to lock the door for people being able to have a place to stay.
So let me ask you this, does state law supersedes and federal laws supersede what city council and the mayor will put in place? So even if we pass this, if state law supersedes a federal law, so how is this?
Well, state law right now allows each city ordinance to control what they're gonna do, okay? But I was just in Lansing last week, and the momentum is moving. And matter of fact, there's like 5 cities that's pushed this already. we're a little behind, and we've never, you know, I'm a big Flint dude. I will never like being behind on nothing because we supposed to be innovative and number one. That's the way I look at it. That's the pride I have in this here. So Jackson has moved on it. Wayne County has moved on it. You know, that's how impactful. There is a state ordinance that's coming down to be able to do this because that number there is real. 2 billion people that's in our state are impacted. Those are only the people that we're talking about that's been incarcerated. This number is a lot more than that because most of the people, over 4 million, have never been in a prison before, but they have something on their records. They're CNAs, they're RNs, we have a person that's sitting over there as a clerk that has something on their record, OWI, right? It's something on your record, and you can be stopped from living in a place because of the fact that you caught OWI blew a .8, which is enough to be able to say, hey, it's only one, but it's stopping you from doing things. We have CPAs that are not working because of the fact that they had a .9. So I want us to really think about what that is. You know, there's plenty of times where we've, you know, may have had one drink too much and went home and could have been stopped. And that's how impact was. Then you can't, you know, have a place to stay. You can't rent nowhere. That's what this is doing. So that would change that drastically.
Any objection to 3 more minutes?
You get 3?
Okay, I want to speak, so you get 1.
All right, that's fine. And so I just wanted to add this. You know, we just sent this ordinance to council 230122, talk about trespassing, unlawful occupancy. Things like this Michigan Fair Chance Housing Act, it is working in tandem with this because we don't have to worry about our returning citizens or just impacted people squatting these houses because they don't have the family support or just any support, how they have to find immediate shelter. So we can get our just impacted people off the streets, then they don't have to trespass. They can apply for homes fairly and get judged by, you know, their character and their progression as a citizen. So I just wanted to point that out, that, you know, that if we support this, this goes hand in hand with this. So thank you.
I would like to ask Attorney Gurley if she received the copy.
I did not receive it.
Okay, we need to get her one. And then, Oh, and I never received an email. I don't think my email is on the city website still.
Okay.
Does anyone know if it's been added yet? Okay, because I'm missing out. And that's not cool. So,
I'll make sure that you get it, okay, personally.
Thank you. If we can have that, like vetted by our, law department, please, just so that we know the legal, ramifications, and then we can write a resolution, that suits the city. I'm not looking for really any answers right now unless you have something pressing.
Yeah, we can certainly vet this and put it in the proper format for council.
Okay, thank you. And I wanted to clarify.
Clerk has something.
Oh, did you have something? No.
I just want to say for the record, if you want something to go to council, you can send it to the clerk, and then I'll make sure that it not only goes to council, but it's for the permanent record. Otherwise, they don't know where to go, you know, it's not a part of anything. So if you mention a meeting, that would be the best route.
I'm forwarding the email.
I already did.
Okay.
I already did.
Early?
I already did.
Well, fine.
Can you send it to me too?
I already did.
Okay, thank you.
So we don't play on our phones here. It'll work.
I just wanted to clarify that if I knew you were shooting your rapist, I'd be like, go girl, I would do the same, okay? However, when I made that comment, as a mother, if there's a violent person that's just like Miss Lewis said, gang members shooting people and just randomly, then that's my concern. Same with a rapist. And so I'm glad that Mr. Pfeiffer asked that question because I'm all for those rules in that regard. I support this. I just want to make sure also that those rules that we have for those instances remain in place, so, thank you.
I appreciate you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. All right.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn this time. Okay, I'm done now, yay.
Okay, it is 8:17, and I bring government ops to order. Madam Clerk, roll call.
We got a shirt. Oh, I can't get up without the horn.
Present.
Present.
Okay, anybody else want a shirt with?
Present.
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 5 members present. Request for changes or additions. Anyone with any request for changes? No. Anyone? We're moving on to public speaking. Any member of the public wish to address council? Please state your name, and you have 2 minutes.
My name is R.L. Mitchell, and I live at 759 East London Avenue. Like the jailhouse people just got through speaking, I know the feeling up there, because I was homeless for 39 years, and I got me a house, but these people, they need a house because people don't believe that I got a house and I be in the street 24/7, and I got a house to go in. Especially this, I'm looking at it right now. This lady deserves a house right away, immediately. Her, she looking right, and I want y'all, as the people, give the woman a house, and for everybody in prison can have a house, because they was locked up over there across the street, my best girlfriend, and she was gonna be in there forever. The sheriff told me that. And I went up there and saw her, and she was writing letters all over the floor, writing to Jesus Christ. Is that a bad word or what? But when I left, they let her out. And everything she touched turned to gold. Her name was Elaine Wells, but her use of her nickname was Slim Goody. Fake girl over there on 9th Street, and she met, that girl got all kind of and I like that girl, what she said. She still listening. Look at her. And these slum landlords act like they allow you, they don't want you to have no girl in the house and stuff, but since that lawyer right there put it in effect, and you will see a whole lot of slum landlords go out of business all over the United States because they can't dictate no peoples like police states and all over the world, like the peoples in Haiti, that the gangs rule, real gangs don't rule no citizen like gave them $17 million or $1 million for each person over in Haiti, only 50 miles across the ocean over in Florida, and y'all didn't know. Oh, I see the clock. That's all I'm gonna say. So get that girl a house right there, a home, a big.
Thank you, Mr. Mitchell. Thank you. Anyone else from the public wishing to address council? Anyone else in the public wishing to address council? I will close public speaking. Council response. Anyone wishing to address the public? I will close council response. I'll take a motion for the consent agenda. It's been moved. Is there supported? Support. It's been moved and supported. Any separations?
Yes.
Councilwoman Priestley, you got...
230109.
Okay. Are there any more separations?
Yes. 230046.
Okay.
Hold on.
Me.
Where's the other one? Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
I'd like to separate 230121.
Any more separations? Any more separations? Okay, just for the record, the consent agenda will be 230119, 230120, and 23018, I'm sorry, 118. 118, 119, 120.
Hold on.
Oh,
Did you say 230046?
no,
I separated it. Oh, these are the ones you.
these are the ones on the consent. Okay, all in favor of the consent?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? The ayes have it. On to the first separation, 230109, Ms. Priestley.
Yes, I'd like to make a motion to postpone this until January of 2023.
It's already passed.
2024. I'm sorry, I've been doing 2022 taxes, okay?
Okay, there's a motion to postpone until January 2024. Is there support? Support.
I will support.
It's been moved and properly supported. Any discussion?
Yes.
Mr. Murphy, and then,
We do the rules each year in November, so if we do it in January, that'll be behind the bar in making amendments. So I can't support January. I can say November.
okay, any more discussion?
Can you
Miss-
clarify why you want to do that?
Because that's when the council rules state in December, we convene and we review our rules, and then they would come before council again in January of 2024. That's why I'm postponing it to January.
That makes sense.
Which one are you on, this one?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah. Any more discussion in the first round? Then I will say, I will support this as well, because this is specifically for that single rule change, so I will support the motion. Any discussion in the second round? Discussion in the second round? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. On to the next separation, 230046. Mr. Murphy, you have a motion?
This, and I'm trying to figure out what should we, I will move this back, or do y'all want to drop it? I would like to,
You want to leave it?
no, I don't want to drop it, I just want to leave it, take it back to government ops.
Okay, there's a motion to refer this back to government ops. Is there support?
Support.
It's been moved and properly supported. Any discussion?
Yeah, we just kicking the can down the road. We hear that you don't want the position.
Point of, he does want it. I haven't had a chance to speak, but point of information, he does want it.
Breaking news. All right, moving on back there.
Any other discussion in the first round? So given that there's not support to send this to council, I will support sending it back. All in favor of sending 230046 back to government ops, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Next separation, 230121. Ms. Worthing, that's your separation?
I move the appointment of Flint Planning Commission Mona Monroe Eunice to council, 230121.
There's a motion to send 230121 to council. Is there support? It's been moved and properly supported. Any discussion?
Yes. This is in my ward. It is an appointment by the mayor. However, it was also with me asking. Miss Jordan was on the commission for a very long time, and then she moved out of the 9th ward. I had this and had asked for this to be put on. I think there was like some sort of delay because poor thing, it's been like over a year that I wanted this to happen. But if someone's not familiar with Mona, which I don't think that's true, of the council at least, you know that she is an activist, very involved, and does everything with care. So I'm just hoping, I just wanted to put my good word in for her, and hoping that this passes. That's all.
Any other discussion in the first round?
Yes.
Mr. Murphy.
Now, if I didn't know Mona, I would vote the other way, but since I know her, I'm gonna be 100% behind you with this. Mona do great work. She's working with the St. John, the Ajax plant. She's just all over the place. I'm surprised she even got time to serve on this, but she bring value to wherever she comes, so I'm good to see this appointment. Yeah, that's it.
Any other discussion in the first round? Then I will wrap up and say I will not be supporting because we have a unwritten rule, because it is unwritten rule, because there's no resume. And
Well,
I've not supported,
I can have one.
I've not supported anything without a resume to do any kind of due diligence. We've sent many of them back, so not that I won't support it, but until I get a resume, so I won't.
Point of information?
If you want to make that motion. Anyone want to speak in the second round?
Mr. Chair, I'd like to make a motion to postpone this until the next government ops committee. Oh, move it to special affairs. I'd like to make a motion.
Motion moved to special affairs. Is there support?
Me, oh, me.
Been
I already
properly
supported
supported.
and I wanna talk.
Any discussion in the first round? Actually, we got one round of 3 minutes, so.
Yeah, Ms. Donahue, do you still have her resume? Because it was sent a while ago.
For something else, you mean?
No, for this.
Okay, yep, then I should still have it.
Okay.
The
You
salary
just search her name, and if
So
you don't
I'll
find
send
it,
For special affairs.
I'll send it again.
Yep.
I do have her resume. It'll be there by special affairs. We'll get it together. So I don't think there'll be a problem.
Okay. Anyone else wishing to speak in the first round? Then all in favor of sending this to special affairs, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it.
Motion to adjourn.
Support.
Supported, and we will adjourn this meeting at 8:28.
Hold on, roll call vote, I want to vote no.
No, no.
No, see, I'm the man.
We're done.
Done.